I had a little debate with my boy.
Okay, okay.
Me and him got hot about the Travis Kelsey and George Kittle
Okay.
get down. Yeah,
Who you like? Who's your team?
Oh, I'm a Niner die
Okay.
hard, but man, Travis Kelsey the best tight end in the game
Oh,
by
okay.
far. And he was like,
Okay.
"Oh, what's the name? Can't block." I'm like, "Yeah, he can block." I'm like, "Dog, he's one of the best receivers in the game. He almost
Right,
had
right.
150 yards and 2 touchdowns, bruh.
Kittle's still
Come
young
on."
too, right?
Yeah, but Travis Kelsey is 31. He been doing that since he was 21.
Right,
You know
right,
what I'm
right, right,
saying?
right.
Like, I was trying to like, and it got heated. It got heated. It got heated.
Is
I
he
was like, bro,
he
he a
a
Niner.
Niner
He
fan
a
too?
die,
Okay,
yeah, he
okay,
a diehard Niner like me. But it was
okay.
like, bro, at the end of the day, I gotta keep it 100. Travis Kelsey is a man.
They visions be some people's visions be
Yeah,
blurred.
yeah. I'm like, dog, Travis Kelsey. Did you see what he been doing? I showed him. He was like, his rookie season. He was like, let's talk about the whole. I'm like, okay, let's go rookie season. I was like, Travis Kelsey almost had 1,000 yards with the micromanager Alex Smith. I'm like, come on, bro. I play
Mm-hmm.
football. I was like, you play football too, and you know it's the truth. Like, come on. But man, oh man, Chris Colbert. Oh my God, Chris
Man,
Colbert and Shakur Stevens.
that's the
Jesus,
pink hair dude,
Shakur.
right?
Yes,
Yeah,
Chris
he
Colbert
was
was
nice. He was nice.
whew,
He was nice.
Mayweather's new boys. Mayweather's new boys.
Yeah, he was nice.
His new camp. His not Jake man.
So
Richard
he's
and then
out of
Richardson.
Mayweather's camp.
Yeah,
Oh,
Richardson,
okay,
Hutchinson. Yeah, they
okay.
all out of Mayweather camp.
Didn't know that. Didn't know that.
Yeah, Zab, Ryan Garcia, all them cats. They all like Devin, all them. They all trained in Mayweather's camp when they was kids.
Man.
Tiafimo too.
And Mayweather
All
camp
of
is
them.
in Vegas, right?
Yeah. Tiafimo Lopez trained there. Devin Haney, Tank, Ryan Garcia, all them. All them young boys.
Okay, okay.
That's they'll talk bad about Floyd, but they don't want to be honest neither.
See, I like Floyd as a boxer. I just can't stand. After he retired, I couldn't stand him. After that, before that, I loved him, man. Yeah, after that, it's just kind of like I don't know. He's something else, man.
Yeah, but Floyd, brothers is flashy.
Yeah,
we ain't tripping off nothing.
Yeah,
we ain't tripping off
none of them. Trust me, I like you see who my pick was, man. I like flashy. You know what I mean? It's just him as a person. I just don't like him, man. I didn't like personality. Yeah, well, not just him. His personal life. He did some shady. Remember when
a lot of casting did shady shit. That's what be cracking me up. Remember same dudes that disrespect him? I'd be like, you motherfuckers is just as dirty as him.
No, remember they had that double suicide when supposedly Mayweather was messing with one of his dudes.
Yeah,
you remember
Mayweather
that?
got a lot of shit.
Yeah. That's that type of stuff I don't like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he got a lot of shit that come on.
Yeah, so it is.
Yeah, Money May got a shit.
But as a boxer, I love to do. I love to do as a boxer.
Where True at?
He was just here.
I'm here, bro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, True in there. Boy, man,
you sound a little muzzled.
Christ.
Talk to you. What you doing? True. What you doing, man? You sound a little muzzled.
Yeah. Young Bulls. Hey, okay. True. Young Bulls showed up last night. Young Bulls, they showed up. I was like, oh shit. Richard Hutchinson, Floyd got some. Floyd's new young camp, they nice. His new young camp, this ain't Adrian Bronier and Jadavian Love. Nah.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. They got some time. They
hungry. His boys showed like Mayweather boys, Shakur. I was like, yeah. I said Floyd and put that print. Floyd and put his print all in the game. Loma, Tiafimo, Ryan, Devin. Just print is all of them. Ryan too. His print. I was like, that boy is cold. They hate him, but all them young bulls was in his gym when they was kids.
Finally starting to see. You say finally starting to see his print.
Yeah, all of them. It's the truth. It's not. I'm not over exaggerating. Ryan Garcia, Tank Davis, Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney, and Shakur Stevens all trained in the Mayweather camp when they was kids. And Richardson Husband and Chris Colbert.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no over exaggerating. It's like that boy, man, you may not like him, but them young bulls like him.
Yeah, no doubt.
But I ain't gonna lie, Ryan was going
Oh,
in. I was
save
like,
that,
Ryan,
because I'm recording
he
already.
was
I just
going in.
I just wanted to get some
Yeah, we in the dough.
yeah, we recording already. We recording already. Yeah, I just wanted
Let's
to get
do it.
some raw conversation between all three of us, man.
Standing 8 podcast,
Yes,
baby. We are
yeah, we are
rocking.
rocking. So,
And they've been loving it. I've
oh
been
yeah,
getting rave
that's what's up. That's
reviews
what's up. Okay,
about Standing 8
I got
podcast.
to do my part, man, because I still haven't uploaded the last 2 podcasts, man. I got the, I got to get on it, man. I got to do my part.
Nah, Ray Riz,
Yeah, I got to do my
they say
part.
you the moderator of the year.
I quit it, man.
Yeah, I've been getting rave reviews on you. I was
That's
just
what's
like,
up, man.
Jesus. They
That's
was
what's
like,
up.
who's your boy? Can we out? I'm like, nah, it's gonna cost you.
Nah, I'm loyal. I'm loyal to the soil, man. I go where y'all go,
Yeah, I
man.
told him. I
You know
said
what I'm
it's
saying?
gonna cost you, bro. You don't have to come out them pockets. You don't have to come out them
Nah.
chips.
All right, so we'll get it started right now.
Yep.
True, you ready?
Yeah. Go ahead, man.
Okay. So it's True Standing 8 Count podcast, episode 3. Doing well, fellas. We had a very busy weekend. That's 2 busy weekends in a row.
We did.
Yeah, very good boxing. I gotta tell you guys a little secret though. I think I told True already. Me not knowing that they're showing the fights at the same time. I'm sitting there looking at Showtime and seeing y'all in the group chat talk about fights. I'm like, when did this fight? Did I miss it? This and that? And then I called up True and was like, hey, what fight y'all talking about? He's like, hey, they playing it at ESPN at the same time. You got to bounce back and forth. I was like, oh man, I missed out on what's the name? What's the dude with the 16 KOs in the first round?
Oh,
I missed,
Edgar.
I missed out on that fight. I caught the old boy with the pink hair. I caught his fight. That dude was solid,
check,
but
check my t-shirt, man. Check my YouTube, Edgar Berlanga, baby.
so let's get it started. We got the 2 panel members. True, go ahead and start off. Plug your channel. We'll go from there.
Yeah, True Boxing, TRU Boxing on YouTube, and then TRU_boxing on Instagram.
All right, Vaughn.
Yes, sir. Von Blues Boxing. VONBLEU Boxing, man. How y'all doing tonight?
Okay. Like I said, it was a very busy weekend.
Yes,
we could do the recap. Mike, go ahead and take over on the recap. Let people know what they missed and what they actually can go. And I think you said you can go see some highlights on it, right?
Yeah, actually, Vaughn, go ahead and start it off with the Showtime card, bro. If you want.
Okay, so the Showtime card, man, it was a decent Showtime card. You know, it was more of a Showtime card that was trying to show the young boxers on Showtime. So we had Chris Colbert versus Jaime Arboleda from Panama. We also had Mati Korobov versus what's his name, Ellis. And then we also had Richardson Hitchison versus Argenius Mendez. So, I mean, all in all, it was a card to display the younger fighters on there. I mean, Hitchison and Mendez, that was the fight I was most intrigued about because I was wondering how Richardson Hitchison was going to deal with a guy like Argenius Mendez. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was wondering, and he did a good job. He won the fight. He controlled and dictate the pace. I thought Argenius Mendez could be more aggressive. You know what I'm saying, fellas? And go for it. But at the end of the day, I was impressed with Richardson for 12 fights and to win at that type of level of fight and, you know, win it. That was a good fight. And then we also had Korobov versus Ellis. Now, Korobov was winning the fight once again, just like he was winning the fight against what's it called? Chris Eubanks before he lost it and he got injured again. He hurt his Achilles. He was up 4 rounds and Korobov at 38, I don't know what else is for him. You know, it's like it's 2 fights in a row he was winning and his body just broke down on him. And so I don't know what else to think with, you know, Korobov and where he should go with that.
Well, I got a quick question, Bob. A quick question. With Achilles on boxing, what is that? Is
detrimental?
Is it detrimental? Okay. That was my question with that because I wasn't sure.
It's extremely detrimental because, like, if you tear your Achilles in boxing, where you know, in the sport of boxing, you need to pivot, you need to be able to move, you need to use the angles, you need to be able to sit on your punches, and you know, you get a lot of power from your Achilles, and you get a lot of like balance and rhythm off your Achilles muscle and your ankles.
Have you seen
So
fighters
like,
come back different from after they tore their Achilles?
yeah, some fighters have never been the same. Some athletes
Oh wow, right. Yeah,
in
because I know
any
athletes.
sport
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
in general are. It's hard for them to come back from that because it's such a devastating injury.
Uh-huh.
Especially in sports where you need to use explosion and movement
Right, right,
and
right.
use those Achilles muscles when you need to generate and use that a lot. It's hard.
Okay, okay.
So yeah, it was kind of tough to see Korobal go out that way because in 2 fights he was winning. He was winning both of these fights, and he just
Man.
his body broke down. First it was the shoulder. He had a significant time off, and then now the Achilles and that. And then we had in the main event, we had Chris Colbert, primetime Colbert versus Jaime Arboleda. And now Jaime Arboleda, he's not the most skilled fighter, but he's a guy who will bring the fight. He's an exciting type of guy. He's enjoyable. But Chris Colbert's not has been like, okay, Chris Colbert, some people like, oh, he doesn't have power and this and that. But in this fight, he's shown it. Like he dominated that fight. Like Chris Colbert was extremely impressive at 130. He was powerful. He was precise. Like he did everything he wanted to do. Like he put on a show.
He
And
really
Chris
did.
Colbert
Yeah.
showed. Yeah, he put on a show. And Chris Colbert showed like my skill level is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And at 130, my power's for real. Like I'm not cutting weight. If I sit on my punches and I really like, he was highly impressive. Like
Okay.
Chris Colbert, Richardson, they were highly impressive for like Mayweather got some decent young bulls in that camp, but it's to be seen. So all in all the young bulls kind of came through on the Showtime card.
So
But
when do you
yeah,
see these guys, like you said, Mayweather has some bulls in this camp? When do you how many years ahead should we start looking to say where you predict these guys will be at the top of their game, or not so much top of the game, but top of the fighting their weight class and all?
Yeah, well, Mayweather's camp, like he's got Angelo Leo, he's got Hitchison, he's got Colbert. I think these young guys in a couple of years at where they at, 122, 126, 130, they can make some noise in the next few years. But it's to be seen. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's to be seen. But all in all, this new generation of Mayweather's camp is pretty talented.
Something to be excited about then, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Something to be excited.
Okay.
Keep your eye on them.
Okay. For sure. Mike, you got any questions about any comments about that Showtime card?
Yeah. So the first fight, Korobov. Well, first Ronald Ellis. I mean, no discipline at all. This guy just 5 pounds overweight. They had to fight above the middleweight limit, and like way above the middleweight limit, and just I'm sorry, I hate when guys miss weight or when they don't even try to miss weight. It just totally ruins the whole point of it, and you get an unfair advantage. And
Cornball
he shouldn't
dominated.
he shouldn't be happy about anything. That was a gift right there that he got. And then Korobov is one of those guys that had a great amateur record. I think he went to the Olympics, and he probably one of those guys that was talented enough to be a world champion, and it just never happened. He was beating I think he was beating Andy Lee in his only title shot. He was beating him pretty good. And then he just got caught with a right hook and put down hard. And then took him a
His
few
last
years to
two
get back
fights,
into it. He took on Charlo, and he did well against Charlo on last minute. And it just goes to show you he lost a close decision. Some people thought he won that fight, but it just goes. It just makes you wonder.
level.
Makes you wonder what he would have done on a full 10 weeks training camp, going into a fight with Charlo.
Right.
But then yeah, I mean, last year we never even got to see anything. That fight ended in the second round against Chris Eubank. So we never really got to see who was going to take that fight, and they were just getting started, and his
But
shoulder went out on him. So
was giving it to him.
just a tough break right there. And then this one, I mean, it's worse with this one because it's the second time in a row, and he was deeper into the fight. Like I said, last year we really didn't get to see what was going to happen because they only had one fill out round, and then he started to get going in the second round, but it ended right there. But this one was even worse because he
clear
was
cut.
he was dominating, and now at 38, I mean. You know what? Last year's injury, nothing happened to him when he hurt himself. This one, nothing really happened to him. They just, he stepped the wrong way, and that's all. So I mean, for Korobov, that might be it. He's dropping out of my top 10, and that might be it right there. But yeah, the other guys, Richardson, Hitchens, talented. He looks good. He looks like he's got the talent. He passed the test. I thought he'd beat Argenis Mendez if he was legit, at least legit to this level. Mendez is a former champion, but he's also was a champion at 130. He's kind of blown up at 140. He did okay, but Hitchens just had good movement and can box well. He's talented. I wonder about him. Just some things that I saw. Definitely has can box, but no power, man. I don't see the power. And then at 140, there's a lot of good fighters that can hit. So I just want to see him. I just want to see him step it up now. He's 12-0. I want to see him step it up more than Mendez, So I want to see what he's made of, and then Colbert. Yeah, Colbert looked good. Colbert reminded me of when Jermell Charlo started stepping into his punches and more and developed his power. That's what he kind of looked like last night. He wore that guy down. He boxed well. He's flashy. Like I said going in, I wonder if he can get fights because there's not a lot of PBC fighters, but he just keeps chugging. You just keep chugging along, keep winning fights and looking good. And, if he can continue to impress with power like he did last night, I mean, he's going to, people are definitely going to want to see him because he's got the talent too. And he's flashy. So, that was an impressive performance. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, before we go on to your card, True, this question for both of you guys. At what point is a fighter seen serious to where you're saying, okay, he's starting to work himself into his prime? Like you said, 12-0 one guy was, and I think the other guy's 16-0. Is more fights in your 20s? I guess you could say 20-0, 25-0. At what point do you start saying, okay, must watch guy?
Me? Go ahead, Drew. You got that.
Yeah, well, I mean, lately, I'd say the last 5 years, maybe 5 years or so, guys have been stepping it up at a less, less fights. They get more amateur fights.
Young bulls.
And, they start, maybe their first 5, 6, 7, 8 fights. They, take those tune-up guys. But if they're really talented, they start to step it up sooner, which is good because, you don't need to fight 30 fights before you, before you get into something, But, yeah, so I've seen that trend. It's starting to go, somewhere in the around, once you hit like 10-0, 11-0, 12-0, kind of where Hitchens is right now.
Okay.
Is when you start to kind of, move up a little bit more, go to your 8 rounders to your 10 rounders and start testing the waters and seeing how good you are. So, that's what
I'm glad you said that because I didn't know that. So the amount of rounds is based on your fights or you choose, or how does that work?
Well, it depends on the level. The levels of who you're fighting. You can step it up whenever you want. Pretty much, you can jump to 8 rounders if you want and 10 rounders, but it's building that stamina.
Okay.
So, most fighters start at 4 rounds, and then they'll move up to 6, and then the 8, and then the 10. So yeah.
So Vaughn, do you see the same thing? You see the trend of guys being more solidified at less fights now, or what do you think about that?
Well, to a certain extent. It's all about where a fighter's level is at right now. Like certain young guys like Hitchison and the Lopez's of the world, like they have so much deep amateur experience that they can take on these level opponents at 12 and 13 and 14 fights.
Okay.
And so right now, like Drew said, is like a lot of these young guys, they're so like a far ahead of the game from their amateur experience that they can get into these big fights like Hitchison and Teofimo was in 12 and 13 fights. And, so that's where we trend into. We're starting to see a lot of like Drew said, a lot of these young guys, man, they're getting into it early.
Okay.
And I think that's because of the amateur experience level. If you look at any of the young guys that are like extremely talented, they have massive amateur experience.
So you could kind of treat these guys like a draft class, pretty much. This group of guys that are young right now it's where it's at right now for the future career.
I think certain fighters are have like your Vasily Lomachenko's. You're starting to see how important fighting in the amateurs is and getting those fights in, because it really kind of develops you and
to
get you ready
professional
for the
leagues.
pros.
Right,
I mean,
right.
it really does. Because I think a lot of these guys are starting to see with those deep amateur backgrounds that, hey, I don't really need to fight 15, 20, 25
Yeah,
fights
to
before I
become a
test the waters.
top level champion.
Right, right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
I don't
they
know.
can jump into it, because look at Lomachenko, man. He fought for a world title in his second fight. He probably should have
Yeah.
won, and then
And
and
you
then
look at
his third fight he did win.
yeah,
And what is he? 14 fights in now, and he's already a
yeah.
three division
And
world
if you look
champion. I
at
mean,
like guys like Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford, you look at guys like them and Anthony Joshua, they didn't have many fights before they
yeah,
became world
Okay.
renowned champions.
Okay.
They
Okay.
had 20 and 15 and 17 fights because they were so advanced.
Right, right,
Like Drew
right.
said, because their amateur experience.
yeah.
Okay.
Amateur experience is starting to show that it matters.
All right, all right, all
The
right.
Joe
cream, the
Joyce,
cream is rising to the top. Let's put it that way, bro.
yeah,
So
Okay,
Joe
okay,
Joyce
okay.
showed that last weekend. Amateur experience matters.
All right, all right. So true. What about this ESPN card? Let us know about this, man.
Yes, sir.
yeah, so ESPN card. I'll take it one at a time. We'll get opinions on each fight
Okay,
one
that
at a
works. That
time.
works.
Yeah.
So I'll jump into Berlanga. I mean, man, the dude. I mean, like I said, he's young. He's got a lot of power. For me, I'm one of those. I'm very critical of fighters and who you fight. And
Yeah.
I give credit when you beat somebody legit, but I'm excited to see this guy step up his game into the next level. The dude, another first round knockout. I mean, just it was funny as the guy he fought,
Well,
Sierra. He's a nobody, but he came in and he looked confident. That's what
you can look
like,
confident till you get punched.
yeah, he at least had that look like I'm not afraid.
I'm coming here to
And
fight.
then he got hit,
Yeah.
and I actually took a few punches because he
Fungal.
still looked confident after the first few punches. But man, once he started just consistently hitting them, he had that. And then once he went down, even me and my wife were watching, and we were both like, "Oh, he's done." Like you could just tell his confidence was just sucked dry out of him after that first knockdown. And Berlanga look. I mean, he's exciting, man. He looks good, but I'm calling bullshit on what he said when they're saying, "Are you thinking about the first round knockout thing?" And he said, "No." I go, "Bullshit. That dude
No,
is
he
totally
don't.
thinking about it. He's trying
Well,
to get those hooks
No, he
out and
don't.
keep that streak going." So
well, let me ask
no,
you.
the kid's exciting. He
I
looked good,
don't.
and
I
yeah.
don't
Okay, so
believe
Bon, you
Edgar
disagree
does.
so you disagree with
Why I
Truth.
don't? Because he doesn't. Because the way he fights and being with Andre Rozier doesn't teach you to get guys out in the first round.
So this is
Doesn't
what
mean you ain't thinking about it, bro.
this is.
No, well, I mean, true,
Okay,
true to the point.
this.
I mean, this in his mind, but I don't think Edgar goes out there to look for it.
Well, let me tell you
Oh
why I
no,
disagree with you.
but
Let me tell you why I
if it's
disagree with you,
there,
Bon.
if it's
Yeah, go
there,
ahead,
you're
go
gonna
ahead.
go
No,
for it.
no, no, no. Go ahead, go ahead.
This is why I disagree on this one because
Wilder.
no, no, it's not that because there's flair that goes with a knockout. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of flair that goes with 16 first round knockouts. You know what I mean? There's a lot of self promoting. I mean, there's people tuning in to see if you pick that's tree. I mean,
Edgar's been building a fan base too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Lil Wayne, Damian Lillard's on him now.
He's got to love that. So he's trying to put on the show. I respect it. But go ahead, True. And I got a question about him.
I want to make the point is because I'm so critical of who these guys fight. A guy like even Berlanga, he's on the rise. Okay, whatever. But I'm looking at that. The only reason I made sure I'm watching that fight was because I wanted to see if he was going to get him out of there in the first round. I knew he was going to win by knockout. So that's one of those fights where I'm like, I can give an extra 10 minutes to my kids before I watch the co-feature.
Well, I'm glad you said that you tuned in for that. So here's my question. Here's my question for both of you guys.
Yeah.
Here's my question for both of you guys.
Yeah.
Is he fool's gold? If somebody gets out of the first, second, third, fourth round, where is this guy looking like? Do we know yet, or should we put our money on him already, or like?
You
guys tell me what you think.
Hasn't fought anybody yet. So.
Yeah, well, Edgar hasn't had that level, but at 168, there's not that level when you're at that level Edgar is at right now.
Okay,
he's not going to get those challenges, at 168 until he gets to the higher level. That's that type of division.
He just needs to step it up and start fighting your typical stepping
but where's
stone
that?
guy.
Where at 168? Who's the stepping stone?
I mean, there's guys. I mean, there's always guys in
But
every
who,
weight
True?
class. There's guys.
That's
There's
a
guys.
blown up 160er. Like there's
You could find dudes that have fought for world titles. Look at a good example. That guy last weekend, Ahmed. That dude has been a career 168 pounds.
But Edgar, if Fedora put him to sleep, Edgar's going to break his face.
Well, I understand that. What I'm saying is what I'm trying to say is he needs to start fighting guys who have been in world title fights or been against world champions.
But hold on, so hold on real quick. So my question is, can he make a living just staying where he's at, knocking guys out first round?
Yeah,
or do you want him to fight other guys for your preference, True, or you're saying for his career money wise? Because I'm thinking he could stay where he's at and make money. No, or am I tripping? Like,
but then you become a sideshow attraction, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Right, true.
But there comes an avoidance.
Yeah,
with him at 168.
If we want to see how good he really is, he just needs to, do what every fighter does. He just starts to step it up a little more, fight guys that are a little more known, get yourself in the rankings and start moving your way up in eliminators and stuff like that. But Bob Arum's going to have trouble trying to get him fights because there's not a lot of top guys.
So you're saying, Vaughn, you're saying he's not fool's gold. True, you're saying he's not fool's gold also, right?
No, I don't believe so at this point. No, I don't. But honestly, we really don't know until he fights.
Until he gets in there,
yeah. That's fair. That's fair. Okay. So
I think 2021, you're going to see him step it up a little bit. I don't know if he's going to get. I'd say, but
there's nobody.
He should move himself in position for a title eliminator by the end of 2021. Okay, so because he's moving up so fast. That's why he's moving up so fast.
Okay, that's true. So, Bon, you got any input on that fight?
But my only issue with 168 is like if you are not in the top 10 fight 168 guys, it's kind of like it's nothing outside of top 10 in 168.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Okay. It's a type of division.
Well, that's what I think the hard part about boxing is it's a balance of pride, it's a balance of money, and it's a balance of giving people what they want. I think if you're knocking guys out like he's been and staying where he's at, and this is, again, the casual guy talking, I would think it would make more sense for him to stay there and just keep doing it. Sideshow or not, he's getting a check. Okay, so it's almost like, well, I mean, perfect example. Or I don't know if you guys tell me this example. When Mike Tyson was knocking people out, was heavyweights? It wasn't stacked? You know what I mean? Is that fair?
No, not everyone. No, not every heavyweight Mike Tyson fought was stacked. Yeah, and that's the misconception.
Right. So
with Mike Tyson.
So I kind of feel like if he takes that role
on his way up where Berlanga is, Tyson was fighting guys along the same level that Berlanga's fighting. He wasn't fighting anybody.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair argument.
In his first 16 fights, and that's what I'm saying. There's always guys out there that have, even the guys that have fought former world champions and are stepping stones. There's always guys out there. So. Berlanga, they gotta find them. They gotta find them. And by the end of the year,
big dog.
By the end of the year,
but 168. Where is those?
So,
what I'm saying, True?
What benefits him more?
I can pull out a list of fighters that are there, bro. I mean, I can. I can pull them out of there. It's just the point is he has to work himself into some kind of an eliminator and force guys to fight him.
Right.
Now
does he benefit moving up or does he benefit moving down in weight?
Nah, 168, he's fine.
He's fine. You're saying he should stay there?
Because 175 ain't nothing there.
Okay.
Right now.
Okay.
Outside of Bivol and Bitterbeers.
There's more guys at 175 with his promotion top.
But the level of 175 is not.
And that's another thing. Promotion takes another factor. We'll get on that later. We're gonna talk about that later. Okay. So what's the other fight? You got any comments on that fight, Vaughn, or are you good?
What Berlanga?
Yeah, Berlanga.
And Sierra?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Berlanga did what he was supposed to do. He was supposed to get Sierra out of there. Mm-hmm. But I think the problem with Edgar, he's going to run into the Triple G syndrome. You know what I'm saying? He's going to run into guys where he's very talented and very explosive, but his division it's deep outside it's not as deep outside the top 10 in 168. And that's the problem Edgar's going to run into.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Do you see him going for realistically trying to get a title fight by the end of 2021?
Yeah, because 168 is open.
Okay. All right. What's the next fight you got, True?
Next one is damn, I'm drawing a blank. Who was the co-feature last night, Vaughn?
Oh, Nakatani and Deho. I told people.
That was a good fight right there. That was a 50-50 fight. Could have went either way. It was really down the middle, and I picked Verdejo because of his talent. And you know what?
It
You look at the
showed.
judges. You
It
look at the
showed.
judges' scorecards. He was winning that fight by and far. But the one thing he did, well, first off, it was a great fight. Let me just
Okay.
say that.
Okay.
Verdejo scored a couple knockdowns early and was putting it on Nakatani. He really was. He was hitting him with some good shots.
Straight
Nakatani,
straight
tall, lanky,
punches.
he was doing well, but and he ended up finishing Verdejo in the 9th round. And like I said, it was a really good fight. But I looked at the scorecards. 2 of the judges had Verdejo up 6-2
Oh
heading
wow.
into that 9th round. Yeah, there were wide scores, but what he made, the thing is Nakatani's a good fighter, but what Verdejo did, and this happens a lot to talented fighters, is he had to work so hard to avoid getting hit the first half of the fight. He ran out of gas.
Man.
He slowed down, and Nakatani just kept coming. That dude's got a lot of heart. He kept coming. He started landing straight shots, and that just Verdejo just, he was tired, man. He was out of it, and it was good. Nakatani showed a lot of heart because he almost got knocked out. And if you saw his face after the fight, oh my God, he got hit. he was all swole up. So but just a really good fight, and it was a big win for Nakatani, and that's moving him into my top 10. That was a nice win right there.
Bless
But
you. Bless you.
Verdejo,
Yeah, my bad.
man, Verdejo, that's a disappointing loss for him. I don't know where he goes from here, but we'll talk about that after.
Well, True, quick question, True, on Verdejo. What was his last fight before this one? Do you know?
He fought earlier this year.
Did he? So
I'm right.
Okay, so there's no excuses on his fatigue and all that, pretty much, right?
No, you know what, man? It's just, this happens to fighters like him a lot. And especially the size of Nakatani and the talent of Nakatani is, it's you can win 6-7 rounds and put him in the bag against a guy like that, even hurt him like he did, but he had to really move in and out and avoid big shots, and you overwork yourself when you do that, and it tires you out, especially if you're not used to doing that, which he's not.
Right.
So, I was actually surprised he took on Nakatani now.
Okay.
Because Nakatani's a full package. He is. Even if he's not as talented, he's a full package, and he's big.
Okay.
So,
Okay. What do you think about that, Vaughn?
Well, I mean, tonight, Nakatani and Verdejo, I knew it was a close fight. Verdejo was extremely impressive for the first 4 or 5 rounds. I was like, that's the Verdejo, that one prospect of 2014. Like, he was looking like, I was like, Jesus, this is Verdejo that everybody was drooling off of in 2013 and 2012. But the thing is with Nakatani is Nakatani's straight punches are so devastating because I'm taller than Nakatani. You know what I'm saying? He's fighting at 135. Wow. He's 5'11". I'm 6 feet 6'1". So his reach and his size and his height advantage it's devastating at 135.
Wow.
Because you can hit him with hard shots, you can hit him with punches, but he's such a big guy. Like, at that weight class, he can take more in. And Verdejo fought a great fight. I thought Verdejo could get him. But where Verdejo, I felt like messed up in that fight is he, in that 4th round and 5th round, he got overly aggressive. I just felt like after he hurt Nakatani twice, I just felt like he got overly aggressive. He was like...
He wore himself out. Yeah.
He wore himself out. He tired himself out. It was more fatigue. But it was the straight shots of Nakatani, but it was fatigue. It's like Verdejo wore himself out trying to, you're fighting a bigger man like that and you just putting everything into it. Like Verdejo, he fought a great fight, but he wore himself out. Like Drew said, he exhausted himself trying to get that big man out of there. You know what I'm saying?
So looking at these two boxers.
Yeah, he's not used to that, right? See, that's the thing is Verdejo's been, when he hurts a guy most of the time in his career, outside of one night, he goes after him, and he's so overly talented than that other guy that he finishes him. Nakatani,
Verdejo got that Amir Khan syndrome.
Well, we're talking about taking that step up again. This is the same thing, step up in levels, and Nakatani's on another level than most of the guys he fought. You know,
he's starting to learn that.
So he got a little overly aggressive instead of being patient, letting the knockout come. You know, or decision. You know?
What was more impactful? Was the loss more impactful to Verdejo, or the win more impactful for Nakatani, career wise for both?
My opinion, the win is more impactful than Nakatani.
Okay. What about you?
Because I feel like Verdejo can bounce back from that.
Okay. True.
For me, it's about the same.
Okay.
You know, Nakatani, that's a great win for him. Actually, after I finish answering this question, I'm going to give you a matchup that I think would be badass and is very makeable for him.
Okay.
But that loss for Verdejo is devastating because he already lost a couple years ago to a guy that Javier Fortuna just beat the shit out of.
Yeah, Lozada. Yeah, I called that 6th round.
Where does Javier fit in all this?
Javier's a top 6, top 7 lightweight. He's a very good fighter.
Tank would be an excellent fight at 135. And PBC.
And see, that's the thing. So you kind of see that Verdejo's got top 10 talent, maybe even top 5 talent. He's that good. But what is this going to do to his psyche? Because he already, like we were talking about it last week. This guy was not fully focused, not fully dedicated,
and just wilding out.
But you know what? I got to give him his props for taking on a guy like Nakatani. But this is the kind of fight that could wipe this dude out, and he could just become that guy that you knock out now.
Oh man,
you know, because he's got a name. So yeah, we're gonna see, man. I hope he bounces back because I like talented fighters that are complete fighters like Verdejo. But man, that was a tough one. That's a tough loss. But hey, Vaughn, tell me this, bro. Right now, I'm gonna give you a matchup: Nakatani versus Richard Comey, bro.
I got Nakatani.
No, I'm not saying who would win or not. I'm saying that's
excellent.
So where does Comey fit in all this? Let's get into that. Where does he fit?
Comey got knocked out against Lopez last year in 2 rounds, but everybody,
he's not.
Most people were picking Comey to beat Lopez in that fight. I did it. Yeah. I actually picked Lopez to win, but Comey is legit. He's a former champion. He's good. He can punch. And he can box a little bit too. And I just think these two guys are going to go right at each other.
You know what's crazy? How much does that make Teofimo Lopez grow his stature as much, from Nakatani coming back and beating Verdejo? That makes, Teofimo that much bigger. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, agreed, especially when, I'm glad you brought that up because I want to touch on that fight.
Yeah, I actually got a question too about that. Go ahead.
Because Teofimo, I don't believe, me and Ray were talking about this morning. People forget that, and Vaughn, I know you don't, but people look at that fight, and maybe that's why I picked against Nakatani going into this fight with Verdejo is I really don't think that was the best Teofimo Lopez that night. He had a lot of personal issues going on, and you know what? And if you look at the scores, Lopez cleanly won that fight. He just had some trouble with Nakatani because of his size and stuff. But he cleanly won that fight. You go look at the scores. He won 8-9 rounds of that fight clean. They were tough rounds. Don't get me wrong. They were tough rounds. But he had to work for it. Don't get me wrong. But go look at the scores. He won that fight clean. But yeah, definitely because I personally think we get low. If Verdejo could hurt this guy, Lopez and Nakatani were to ever rematch, I think Lopez knocks him out, because I think he'll be fully focused next time. But I mean, Lopez, that definitely just grows his stature all day. Right?
Okay, so question for both of you guys, True and Vaughn. Can your past opponents bolster your status after you fought them based on who they beat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially how they go. Like if they are successful after they lost to you and they beat good level opponents, hell yeah.
Then you're like, okay, this guy, okay, I see.
A great example is Gervonta Davis. So prior to even Leo Santa Cruz, a lot of people looked at Davis's record and said, who is he? But there was the first world title he won at the time. Pedraza, the guy he
was
beat,
nice.
He was kind of floating around the top 10, but he wasn't a big name. And Gervonta knocked the shit out of him. He knocked him out in 6 rounds.
That was impressive.
It was an impressive win. But Davis's resume grew after Pedraza went up in weight and beat Ray Beltran. Then he went in against Lomachenko and went 12 rounds. So that was later on. You know, like Davis's resume grew after because of that. You know, because everybody was like, "Oh shit, this guy just went 12 at Lomachenko," but Davis knocked him out cold.
You see,
and I'll give you another example of that. I just wanted what you was feed off of that. I'll give you another example. Alexander Povetkin with Anthony Joshua. Povetkin put Dillian White to sleep in 4 rounds. You know what I'm saying? And he's got notable and good, solid ass wins. And that helped AJ's resume even grow more because he's like, Povetkin is still at 40-something years old, one of the top heavyweights. But go ahead.
I think that's why I appreciate you guys' knowledge of it, because it goes deeper than the surface of the fight you fought. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's layers of it. You know what I mean? And when you guys pick your guys, you guys go back and say, hold up, you know, he did this to this guy, he did this guy. When he fought him, he gave him trouble. This guy might be a good fight to look for over there. There's a lot of layers of boxing I don't think a lot of people understand.
Well, and that's why actually this came up with me and Vaughn earlier in the week. You know, this is a good point. Like I totally appreciate a guy's talent and how good they are and when they're on the rise and stuff. But I think I'm just more of a stickler about, okay, if you haven't fought anybody yet, then, you know, I'm not going to give you as much credit as some other people do. And even some
like me. Yeah.
Well, it's not even that, just you, bro. Like there's a lot of writers that do the same thing. They'll put guys in the top 10 based on their projection as opposed to what they've done. And I get it because there's some people that are sticklers like me. And there's other people that are like, well, he's gonna be good, and I know it, so I'm gonna put him up there. Right. You know, I get that. You know, yeah, I totally get that. But that's what I'm saying. Like, we really don't know until a guy really fights somebody, you know, you know, until they get tested, you know. So that's why Nakatani, this was impressive coming back to him is, you know, Verdejo, we knew, at least on a talent level, that he was legit. And Nakatani, it wasn't easy, but man, the way he came back to get hurt early and he almost got knocked out, you know, to come back and to finish him. Oh, that was impressive, dude. It was just impressive. So
okay. So what other fight we got going through?
Oh, main event. I mean, we can go through this one quick. Shakur Stevenson, the future. You know, he took on Toka Conclary. I mean, Stevenson looks really good at 130 pounds, man. He looks like he's filled out that weight class, and I really think he can dominate. Again, power is the only thing that I question because it's for his sake, bro. Like Andre Ward, I loved Andre Ward out of Oakland, Olympic gold medalist, big Andre Ward fan. The one thing that hurt him was not knocking enough people out, you know? Yeah. And the thing is it doesn't hurt his resume in terms of winning. It hurts his resume in terms of people being interested in watching him.
Right.
And there's a big gap there. It's like, you know, that could separate a guy who's main eventing ESPN as opposed to a guy who's fighting on pay-per-view.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know, and that's way more money when you're fighting on pay-per-view. So, and I like Shakur Stevenson a lot, and I hope he can develop that power the way Jermell Charlo has done. Jermell Charlo, as much shit as I talk about the Charlos, about fighting legit people, I am very impressed with that dude since 2016 because that guy started stepping into his punches and he started laying people out cold.
Derrick James. That's Derrick James. You know, that's exactly all it is.
So, and you know, to be able to do that mid-career right before you get on a world title level, that's impressive.
At 31, 32? Yeah, at that age.
So Stevenson, impressive win. He got a clean one-sided decision. I mean, not much else to say. So yeah.
What'd you think about it, Vaughn?
Well, Shakur, like Drew said, he was impressive. And like Drew said, Shakur even admitted, he was like, I need to get my power up a little bit. Because he was talking about fighting Burchell and Valdez. Because he's very ambitious, like Teofimo. Like, the one thing about Teofimo and Shakur, them boys is ambitious as hell. I don't know what it is over there. They want to be the top dogs at a young age, you know? And, it was an impressive win. I like Drew said, I would like, and Andre Ward was saying through the fight, I would have liked a stoppage. Like, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? Just to put that cement to the younger guys, like the young bulls, the rest of the young bulls, like, I'm here. But Shakur was extremely impressive. Like, I mean, like Drew said, he's He's extremely talented, man.
Okay,
It's just like he makes it look so.
Ray, yeah, he doesn't have to have the Teofimo Lopez one
Nah,
punch power.
no,
He
he
doesn't need to
doesn't.
have that.
He
He
doesn't
needs
at
to
all.
he needs to be able to break a guy down and stop him like Colbert did to
Yeah, yeah.
Arbadola last night.
Perfect
I mean,
example.
if you can do that,
You fine.
Ray, every time. I mean, Andre Ward's best win was his 10th round TKO, Chad Dawson,
Yep.
prior to Colbert.
Okay.
And
yeah, that was the best
he
stop.
broke Dawson down, completely broke him down, stopped him in the 10th round. And those kind of knockouts are impressive too, man. It's just knocking people out in a unanimous decision. I mean, again, like I said, I know I talk shit about Floyd Mayweather. I know I do. But as a fighter, that guy, if he would have finished off a few more of the guys in his major fights when he could have.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking,
it's a whole different conversation.
There's a whole different
angle.
Different conversation.
Yeah. No doubt.
Totally,
No doubt. So what do you guys, what is 2020?
He gets a lot of credit. He gets criticized a lot. So
what is 2021 looking for Shakur Stevenson? What do you guys think?
Jamel Herring and Carl Frampton, man. I mean, this is the ultimate
Valdez
right
and Burchell. That's the next fight for him too.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's got a good chance of two major fights. Well, but hold on. If those guys are willing to fight him, because I know
Oscar was like, nope.
Yeah, exactly. So what? We'll see. Well, here's the best thing about Oscar. This dude didn't want nothing to do with him at 126. He ran from him and gave him his belt. He don't want nothing to do with him at 130. And I'll tell you right now. I'm going to call it early. Yeah, I'm going to call it early. Burchell's going to whip Oscar Valdez's ass.
Yeah,
that's
he
just,
is.
That's going to happen.
Because I like Oscar, and I've tried, Drew. And I've tried and I tried. I'm just like, Burchell about to whip that out. And that's a tough fight for Shakur.
Oh yeah. But next for him is supposed to be the winner of Jamel Herring and Carl Frampton, and those are two legit top 5, top 10 guys right there at 130, and it's for a title, right? And then hopefully he can hook up with the winner of Burchell, which is going to be Burchell and Valdez, and then
Valdez catching one of them wild hooks.
Yeah.
Well, it's one thing about Oscar is I don't want to sleep on him, because Oscar is like, one thing I learned about Oscar Valdez is that kid got balls. Like his balls is like he's like a size of Texas. Like I'd be like, Jesus, like Oscar, like please, son, like you get punched all in the face. He like, Tor, I'm all right. Boom. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get so worried about him. But it's going to be a hell of a fight.
So it's a bright, exciting future. Well, I don't know, exciting fights coming up. We don't know how his future is going to turn out for Shakur.
Oh, yeah. Shakur is very exciting future.
Yeah. The Zone, is that the last card we have? Or is that it?
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys can switch off. Go ahead.
So, so it was Wok and Huey Fury. So Huey Fury and Wok was the type of fight I picked a split decision, because I thought Huey would, you know what I'm saying? I just thought because one thing I learned about the Fury boys, when the competition is lower, they don't bring, you know what I'm saying? Right. It's like a lack of something that goes on with Huey and Tyson.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
When they fight lower competition, like they just don't get up for. I don't know what's in them mentally that makes them like fight lower level. Like fight at that lower level. Like they just, for some reason, they don't bring it. And like last night, he fought Wok. And now Wok has been around. Marcellus Wok has been around a long time. Wok has fought everybody and anybody. He's the type of like stepping stone type of guy, like that gets you to the top 15, top 10. He gets you that type of fight. And Fury got hurt. Like he got his eye cut by a headbutt. It was a headbutt. It wasn't a punch. But Huey Fury last night, one thing I appreciate about him in that fight, he showed a lot of grit and toughness. To have such a bad cut and such a bad swelling on his right eye and still be able to like, okay, I'm going to keep going with it. I'm going to keep fighting. And even though they can stop it, it was a decent win for him. I don't know what it does for him, Drew. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean,
I don't, you know what I'm saying? Because he's been there at the top 10 level with Joseph Parker and Povetkin. So it's kind of like with Huey. Yeah, go ahead, True. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he won a one-sided fight against the guy he should have won a one-sided fight
against.
Yeah, so that's a good thing. I mean, when you fight a guy like
and you're supposed to
Rod,
win like that.
you're supposed to win that one-sided, and so that's good that he's moving in the right direction. But we really won't know until he gets in there. And you know what? The thing about him is his style might be a little awkward, might be a little ugly,
but he'll
but
give
his last name is
fight.
Fury.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
he's
no
gonna
doubt,
get a
no
fight.
doubt. Yeah,
That's
no
it.
doubt.
And Eddie
It'll be
Hearn,
competitive.
Eddie Hearn's got a decent collection of heavyweights. So
Herkovich.
yeah. So I mean, he'll get a fight. He'll get a fight.
Fury and Herkovich, I
and
think.
we'll be able to see. So
Yeah.
Okay,
I just think Fury and Herkovich would be a good fight, for Herkovich to see where he's at. Yeah. And for Fury to say, hey, I'm still a top 10 guy. But anyways, go ahead.
I mean, to be honest, I got Fury right around the top 10 based on who he's been in the ring with. And the fact that fight with Povetkin last year was pretty damn close.
And I mean,
it was. Yeah.
And I mean, if you look at the top 10 heavyweight division, I mean, Huey could squeeze in there because it's like, who else?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like
agreed.
Yeah. It's like,
I got him just out of it, the top 10.
He knocking on the door though, for sure.
Yeah, well, definitely. Yeah, and he used to be a top 10 guy for me too.
Yeah,
so,
he was. He was for years for me.
And how old is he now?
28, 29.
Oh, he's a young guy. Okay.
For heavyweight. He started young. And Huey's the type of fighter. My problem with Huey Fury was Huey just took on too much early. I just think he had too many big fights for like 20 and 18. I was like, Huey, I know you're trying to get up there with your cousin, but it's like, bruh.
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah. And that's the balance, you know what I mean? It's you could see guys that end up hurting their career because of that, right?
Yeah.
Rushing into it too fast.
Yeah.
Just crazy.
A lot of young fighters do that.
It's got to be. Is it a feeling period? Do you have to feel? I mean, so who's making these decisions? Is it the promoter? Is it the saying, "Hey, take this fight," or is it the boxer saying, "I'm ready"? Or the trainers? What do you guys think is the heavier hand?
It's more the manager. I mean, the promoter can weigh heavily. If he's putting a lot of money into that fighter, a promoter could. His opinion really matters, but at the end of the day, it's your manager helps you approve of everything. Right. And if your manager is willing to push you in that direction and and it's kind of a combination between you, the fighter, and the manager, and then you have the promoter, then you test the waters. And some of these guys, like we were talking earlier at the beginning, some of these guys want to test the waters earlier on now,
Right.
For some fighters it works out, for some fighters it don't. So, that's pretty much what it is.
I think it's also like True said is, it's the promoters. Sometimes, the promoters like get overconfident with the young fighters because they see how talented these young guys are, but they haven't been in there. But it's also the fighters sometimes. These young guys get super over ambitious.
Okay, go ahead, Vaughn. I got a question on the promoter, but go ahead.
Yeah, they just some young fighters get overly ambitious because, when you're young and you just dominate like that and you win in fights, it can, but go ahead. Yeah.
My question is promoters, I think the misconception of promoters are they're guys in suits. I mean, promoters have an eye for talent. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they do. They do. Yeah, you gotta have
like general managers, bro.
Okay.
You gotta have some kind of organization, and you have scouts out there.
Okay, got you. Okay. Because I think a misconception is promoters are guys in suits with the car salesman haircut.
No,
trying to, what I mean, the Don King side. Okay.
Even Don King had an eye for talent.
Right.
They have an eye for talent, but like a car salesman, money is the most important thing.
Right.
So it's kind of a cross in between. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what other fight we got on that card?
So
you go ahead and take the Okoli fight.
So Lawrence Okoli fought this Russian guy. I forgot his name. And
it don't matter.
He's one of those guys. Sartakuzi was 19-0, but it's against guys at his like domestic level who are not at Okoli's level. So Lawrence Okoli
fighters.
Yeah, exactly. Like True said, it's like truly in Russia is like bar fighters and like just dudes, So Lawrence Okoli is a huge cruiserweight. He's 6'5", so he's like weird. Like he looks so weird fighting that cruiserweight division. Like it looks like a video game. You know what I'm saying? Like you're playing Fight Night and you're a heavyweight fighting a middleweight. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's not as bad, but it's close to Fundora fighting at
okay.
It's kind of that type of level. It's not as bad, like True said, Fundora at 154, but it's kind of like you're 6'5", and Okolie is like awkward as hell. Like he's extremely awkward because he fights hella tall, but it's like awkward fighting tall. You know what I'm saying? And he was impressive. Like he dominated this dude. I mean, Okolie put an ass whooping on him. Like Okolie, every shot Okolie hit him with, he was getting concussed. Like he was doing like he would like the fight should have got stopped earlier. Like that's another fight where I was kind of like disappointed. Same with Cobra's fight to True in the 11th round. I was disappointed at Steve Willis. I'll get into that later. But like he was just like it just Okolie would hit him with any shot and he would just be rattled. And I was just like, and Okolie was impressive. That's the type of win Okolie needed. He needed that win because he's had some ugly wins and when he fights in the inside, Okolie is not a strength because he's 6'5" fighting at a cruiserweight. But he was impressive. He whooped dude ass, and that's what the type of win he needed. Okolie needed that win. Now he's off. He's ranked number 2, or I think number 1 in the WBO. He will be fighting. What's his name? How you say his last name? True, Glowskov or something.
Christoph Glowacki.
So. Yeah, Christoph Glowacki. So that's the next fight. He's going to be in a title shot because the cruiserweight division is kind of bare. I don't know if he's ready for it, but we shall see. But he was impressive. He did what he was supposed to do. Go ahead, give your thoughts on that.
Yeah, Okolie, we don't know how good. Again, is another guy tonight. We really don't know how good he's going to be. But I agree that it sucked because he waited all year to fight Glowacki.
Yeah, he did.
And Glowacki tested positive for coronavirus earlier this week. So facing a replacement opponent. I think it was you're talking about fool's gold. I think that dude's resume that he fought.
It was trash.
19 and 0 looks good on paper, but then when you start looking at those names, but I mean, I agree. He needed to come out and be impressive because not only was this supposed to be a title fight for him, but he got the co-feature spot, and when you're in a co-feature, you need to be impressive. That's it, and he was. So yeah, easy work for him, But yeah, he looked good, and he's got Glowacki next, who's a full package, a former 2-time champ. So
when do you guys see that fight happen?
Should happen in the next few months because
next few months, maybe February.
And he made quick work of him. And Glowacki, the corona. I mean, a lot of these guys that test positive for him, they're getting back a month later, a month and a half later. So yeah.
30-year-old guy, no symptoms. He should be good by February.
Okay. Yeah. So it's good to look for that fight. Okay. Got any more fights on that DAZN? I think we have one more, right?
Oh, Bakoli and Kuzmin. Like Bakoli and Kuzmin was one of those fights that I was feeling like was getting slept on because Kuzmin and Bakoli don't have like one thing about Sergey Kuzmin. He has good names on his resume: Malcolm Tannen, David Price. Who else? Who else did Kuzmin have? He had another guy on his resume. He lost to Michael Hunter. In a fight, he got outclassed. But Michael Hunter is like a weird heavyweight. He's like a small heavyweight, but he's talented as shit. He's so quick. And so, like, he's a handful at heavyweight because his speed in his hand, like, he's a handful. I've noticed about him. There's some things he can do. Yeah. And then Martin Bakoli is this big guy from Congo. He fights out of Scotland. Bakoli has skills, you know what I'm saying? He's this big dude, but he has boxing skills. He has some things that wasn't there. But that fight was interesting because it was like a fight where whoever wins is going to move on and get top 15 guys, but whoever loses is going to be that type of stepping stone.
Oh, okay.
And and so Bakoli got the job done, but it was really close. Okay. I thought Bakoli would win a closer. I knew it would be competitive because Kuzmin has like a deep amateur experience. At one time, he was looked at as being a decent heavyweight prospect, but he for Bakoli, that was a good win for him because he needed to, after both of them losing to Michael Hunter, because Bakoli got stopped by Michael Hunter in the 10th round. But all in all, it was a good fight. It was the type of fight that needed to be done, and I think it was a good win for Bakoli, but we shall see where he goes from here. He's ranked in the top, I think, 15 in the WBC now. So we'll see. Go ahead, True. What you thought about that fight?
I watched some of it. I was working at the time, so I was coming in and out. But I watched some of it. He looked solid. He looked decent. Kuzmin is a veteran. He's been around. So decent win. We'll see how he does. He's definitely not. He's floating around top 15, top 20. and we'll just see how he does. We'll see how he does if he can move on. Like I said, I mean, the good thing about Eddie Hearn, he's got a good collection of
The
heavyweights for
heavyweights
this guy to test himself against. So we'll see. But yeah, main event time, biggest fight of the weekend. You had Anthony Joshua and Kubrat Pulev for the unified world heavyweight title. That's 3 of the 4 belts belong to Anthony Joshua. And Pulev was a mandatory #1 contender. He'd been in the ring with Klitschko 6 years ago. He got pretty much mopped up in that fight. But Pulev's fought some good heavyweights. He beat Huey Fury. He beat Tony Thompson, who was a former 2-time world title challenger years ago against Klitschko. Pulev is a solid heavyweight and with decent skill. He's a big guy from Bulgaria. So, Anthony Joshua went in there and, I predicted a knockout between the first 5 rounds and he probably could have got it, because he did hurt him and he did put him down, but Pulev's tough, but Joshua just boxed and he boxed very well and set up the knockout. And man, I've never seen a heavyweight throw more uppercuts than Anthony Joshua.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, the dude just is not afraid. What's funny is he kind of is cautious, but he's not afraid when it's a guy he knows he doesn't have to worry about.
Well, when you say that real quick, Mike? When you say that, what do you mean by not afraid? What's left open when you throw a uppercut?
Everything. I mean,
everything.
If you don't, my problem with, I guess I can jump into it. Well, first he ended up knocking Pulev out with a really good knockout in the 9th round. But yeah, he did. He called it to the round. So good call on that one. But I really believe why the knockout didn't happen earlier was because Joshua's fighting. He's still getting shaken off that loss to Andrew Ruiz a year and a half ago.
It showed in that fight.
It shows because he's cautious and he's not getting in a rhythm all the way together. And that's one thing that he didn't do earlier in his career, even in the fights that he got tested in, even in the Dillian White fight when he got hurt there. He set himself up. He collected himself. He boxed and he set up the knockout against Klitschko. I mean, man, he was patient. He let the knockout come to him. That's the kind of fighter he is. He really needs to take a page out of Lennox Lewis's book
about patience
and of patience, because hey, look at when Lewis got knocked out. Both times he's over aggressive, just like Joshua was. And that's the thing is it's one thing to be over aggressive when you're the size of Andrew Ruiz or Mike Tyson or a smaller heavyweight.
Yeah,
when you're one of the trees in boxing, you don't have to fight that way, Mm-hmm. and that's why Joshua needs to learn. But it was an impressive win. But I really believe that his talent, he can beat anybody. But are we going to see that when he goes up against your Tyson Furies and your Deontay Wilders? Is he going to be able to avoid Wilder's punches in that fight? And is he going to be able to be patient and let Fury come to him? It's going to be interesting to see how he shakes it off, but he's definitely got the talent, and I think he proved that last night. So go ahead, Vaughn.
Yeah. What was my feelings about AJ in that fight? AJ did like what Drew said. AJ proved that he can get the job done. And I mean, against Pulev, you have to be patient with Pulev. You have to bring down Pulev. You cannot get Pulev out in the early rounds. And AJ did a good job. He took his time. He was patient. Only thing that kind of got me with AJ, he reverted back to like one thing I noticed about AJ and Wilder, when they hurt you, they go willy-nilly. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They do. They go willy-nilly. AJ and Wilder, dog, when they hurt you, they like, I don't know what is in them boys' blood. They lose their mind and they try to hurt you. Like they go ballistic. They do. They just swinging everything. And like AJ kind of did that in the 4th. I think it was the 4th round when he hurt Pulev. And I was a little nervous because I was like, AJ, that's what got you in trouble before, bro. Yep. Is like True said, being overzealous. You got him, but just step back a little bit. Step back a little bit, AJ. Don't get, But all in all, AJ had a good performance, man. He was impressive. I think I like the way AJ fought. I like him being more cautious. I don't like him like trying to always like because AJ got that dog in him. So it's like I enjoyed the way he fought. I enjoyed that he took his time. He was more patient and he found the knockout and it came from him. And Anthony Joshua, you know, it was a nice win and it was. I mean, he was a little rusty, of course, because he hasn't fought in almost a year and a half. But all in all, AJ, good win, impressive.
Okay, so we let's make sure we hold off on talking about what's going on in the future with these guys because I want to touch on that a little bit later on one of my questions.
Yeah,
but go ahead, True.
Yeah, just another thing. Yeah, I mean, Anthony Joshua is probably my top 2 or 3 fighters right now in terms of favorite fighters. So I really analyze him down to a T, like watching him fight. And what I notice is
don't worry about him when he get punched.
Well, yeah, it's not even that. Like he got hit with some good shots, and he's backing straight up, and that's what gets him hit. And he does that against Deontay Wilder, he's out. That he's gonna get knocked out. That's
or
one.
Fury too. If he get caught with that right straight hand, because Fury got a good one too.
Definitely. But that uppercut, the thing is
it's devastating. AJ throws it with reckless abandon.
Devastating. But the mistake he was making last night was he was throwing it when Pulev knew it was coming, and that's a mistake because that's what you're making right there. And you're not, and the guy can get prepared for it. So it's not even just counter punching.
Pulev did take those uppercuts.
For it. But the biggest thing is he laid out Vladimir Klitschko in 2017
with an uppercut.
It came with the uppercut, and
AJ got a nasty uppercut.
But it wasn't an uppercut that anybody saw coming. He set it up, and I guess just to be a stickler, I mean, because I know he got away with it, but I'm looking at certain fighters that he's gonna fight, and I'm like,
I'm worried about that right straight hand with Wilder and Fury against him.
Yeah, well, that, but also just like the way his mentality
reaction,
because he got into some grooves last night where he was just kind of pitter pattering. He wasn't like staying in that consistent rhythm of jab, jab, break you down, jab, jab, right hand, break you down. And hey, it took Lennox a while to develop that style too. Yeah. So to where he was fully comfortable with himself. But I think right now in the heavyweight landscape where it's at is with those big three rotating the number one spot back and forth, like he can't make another mistake like he did against Andrew.
Ooh, that's true. That's true. That's
very true. He can't afford that against Wilder.
Not if he wants that money and that legacy right there,
Right. That's true. That's true. Okay. Yeah, but we'll touch on that. We'll touch on the top 3 in a little bit, guys. But let's move on. You guys done talking about that fight?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's move on.
Yeah, we're good.
What do we got? The new news coming up, True? You want to explain what we got new or some news with what's his name?
Sure, yeah. I'll start it off with that. Just a couple things. Canelo made a little bit more news for his fight coming up. The vacant green belt, the WBC belt, is now going to be on the line for him. That's significant right there, Ray.
Why is that?
It kills
2
the
of
fight.
the 4 belts are going to be on the line now. In at 168. And I know people are gonna. Might be some people that are gonna be a little pissed about this. I don't think they should be.
Canelo's fault.
Well,
but
also, the WBC is the most corrupt organization, and
in boxing.
The one thing I do like that they're doing is at least they're giving it to guys that are good fighters,
worthy. Yeah, because Calvin Smith was the WBC champion.
Oh yeah, and he has been since he won the World Boxing Super Series. So so that's the thing is they finally got it right because the 2 guys that were there, Benavidez lost the title on the scale, so I don't even know why they're considering him to even fight for that belt again. And then Avni Yildirim, that dude hasn't fought in like 2 years now.
Yeah.
Close to 2 years.
So how does that tie into Canelo?
Yeah. So they're giving Canelo a shot with the other number 1 in the division. So it's not like he's fighting some nobody.
Okay.
Canelo's not fighting
that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So I mean, and this is just a small prediction. Maybe it's a big one if it ends out turning out right. But I'm wondering, did Canelo put the pressure on them because he's leaning towards fighting with the PBC and because Benavidez is number one in that division after Yildirim. Are they trying to set something up later on down the road? Which that'd be an exciting one right there. Canelo and David Benavidez.
Yeah, because Canelo's open to all those fights. Because I seen some where Eddie Reynoso was talking about that, and Canelo's such a free agent, he can go fight the top level guys. But the thing is like True said, David Benavidez kind of screwed himself out of that, and like it screwed up a possible PBC unification bout with David Benavidez and Caleb Plant. And now that fight is kind of like PBC is not going to put that fight on because it's not a unification bout anymore.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
wow.
but the thing that makes it interesting is Canelo. The reason why I don't just say Benavidez is I think Canelo's ready to face Jamal Charlo at some point.
Yeah, I think that's gonna happen.
So that's one option, but another option is Caleb Plant, because Canelo, if Showtime would have given him a pay-per-view spot on the 19th, he would have been fighting Caleb Plant. That was the guy he wanted to fight.
Yeah, he was willing to work with Showtime too.
So it's obvious to me that Canelo's looking
willing to work
that direction right now, and Showtime has the money and the support to back it up and to pay Canelo some bank. So and he gets back to pay-per-view that way. So and the PBC's got some good fighters between 160 and 168. So
Canelo's gonna be a stud on there.
Like I said, this is me just being such a boxing nerd that I took just from that green belt being on the line, all this stuff, but hey, you never know. I mean, it looks promising.
Well, call it now. We got it on wax. We know we can go back to the video and play that clip, man. He called this, man.
I think he's going to the PBC. That's my prediction. I think he is. So
I think I'm with Drew. I just think Canelo is about the cash money, and he's about making the best fights. And PBC, DAZN, like Canelo has so many free options, but I just think PBC about to pay Canelo his worth. I think Al Heyman is about to pay some ridiculous amounts to put Canelo
now
under PBC banner.
Is this something that you think it'll happen soon? You think maybe after a fight they'll announce something?
Yeah, after Calvin Smith. Okay. I think after Calvin Smith, I think Canelo and PBC is about to start working with each other. Okay. It's too much money.
Yeah, two or three fights. I think he'll sign a 2 or 3 fight contract. So yeah.
It's just too much money on the PBC side with Canelo. It's just Canelo's going to get paid. Al Heyman doesn't care about paying people, especially a guy like Canelo. Al Heyman would be a fool, and Floyd Mayweather would be a fool not to pay Canelo.
Well, see, Ray, the difference between DAZN and fighting for Showtime or Fox with pay-per-view is, you already have a fan base with Showtime
it's already there.
People, even if you don't have Showtime, are going to pay for pay-per-view because they know. When it comes to DAZN, the reason why the rift between DAZN and Canelo happened is they were charging subscriptions, but they needed to get more. Well, Showtime already has everybody, and that's and the pay-per-view is an already established thing. DAZN is a streaming service that's still rather new, So, that's one thing that everybody needs to understand. So that's why I think he's leaning that way. And I don't think he leans towards ESPN because
they don't have any fighters.
They don't have any fighters between those two, that weight class. So it's either Canelo's going to do one fight at a time, or he's going to go after that pay-per-view money, which is Showtime. So and PBC. So that's what I believe.
And you said HBO went away from it, though, right? Correct?
Yeah, HBO's going for boxing.
Okay. Yeah. But go ahead, True. What else?
Yeah, one other thing, man. I want to give some love to the guy we talked about earlier. Krzysztof Glowacki, man. Okay. Disappointed with what's been going on with him the last few years. So just real quick recap on him. So he in 2015 he scored a major upset, knocking out the best cruiserweight in the world, Marco Huck. It was actually one of the best knockouts of the year, man. 11th round knockout. He actually got put down in the 6th round of that fight. It was very close. He was losing, but it was very close. And then he caught Huck cold in the 11th, man, laid him out. So great win. He backed that up by beating Steve USS Cunningham, a former 2-time champ. Knocked him down 4 times, clean decision.
Same guy that knocked down Tyson Fury.
Exactly. Yeah. And then he ran into Alexander Usyk, who most people know Alexander Usyk. He's one of the pound for pound best fighters in boxing right now, and no shame in that. He lost the decision, clean, lost his world title. Well, when they did the first edition of the World Boxing Super Series, this is when he started getting screwed.
Mm-hmm.
He was one of the top 8 cruiserweights in the world, one of the top 5 at the time. He didn't get an invitation into that. So I was like, wow, he got snubbed. And that was little over a year long tournament that he had to sit on the sidelines and fight nobodies and wait.
Wow.
And then he comes into the second edition, the second season as the number 3 seed, gets a clean win in the first round, becomes an interim champ. And then in the worst refereeing job I've ever seen happen to him last year, where he threw a rabbit punch, but it wasn't a vicious one to the number 1 seed, Maris Bradis. He threw a rabbit punch, wasn't a vicious
that
thing.
fight was crazy as fuck.
But Marco Huck goes, and Ray, you should go back and watch it. Marco Huck, the guy who's fighting, decides to throw a back elbow, and he hurts Glowacki, where Glowacki goes down from that back elbow. Now, when you are intentionally fouled, you are supposed to get 5 minutes to recover. You know, the referee forced him to get up and start fighting right away.
Yeah.
He got hurt in that round and got put down. And then the bell starts ringing, and the referee, I don't know how he didn't hear the bell because they kept ringing the bell. Ray, the round went on when he was already hurt for another 20 seconds.
Wow.
And, and then he comes out into the third round and he gets knocked out because he just never really could recover from that, you know? But so he gets screwed. He loses the title. It takes 6 months for the WBO to overrule the tournament and say, all right, you guys need to have a rematch. But because Bradis made it to the finals and his contract to the tournament allowed him to fight in the finals, he gave up the belt. And that fast forward to now, Glowacki for a year has been waiting for the fight with Okoli, the guy who fought on DAZN. He's been waiting for that fight, and then he tests positive for COVID. I mean, this dude cannot catch a break, you know? And I'm just like, I feel so bad for him because he deserves the chance to prove himself.
Yeah,
and the worst thing about
it though, but Uriarte Dortis, because I had Dortis and Bradis made up. My bad. Go ahead, Drew.
No. I mean, well, the thing is no matter what happens, I don't think he would have beat Bradis, but we don't know. And I don't think he would have beat Dorticos, but we don't know because he never got a chance.
Bradis beat Dorticos when I was shocked.
Yeah. So, well, that was the worst thing about it is Bradis, who was the number 1 seed going into that tournament, the second season, his first 2 wins, he got lucky in the first round. He got a gift decision in a fight he should have lost. Then in the semifinal, he had the controversy here against Glowacki. And then he goes out and beats the hottest guy in the division. So it's kind of like, guy. Well, and that just makes you feel for Glowacki for getting robbed in that fight, like the way he did. You know, it just makes you feel for him even more. So I just want to send some love to my man Krzysztof Glowacki. You know.
Well, I got a question on that tournament though. I got a question on the tournament. It's how often are the fights? How does this work? The tournament.
Is
it over a year span or?
It was like a 2 year span.
It was over a little over a year the first season because we had some injuries. Because when you're fighting world level competition, they were trying to have these guys fight every 4 months, and that's tough to pull that off.
That's my type of tournament, man.
It was though. I loved
it. I liked it because these guys aren't going in 100%, and you got to dig deep.
Right.
That's cool. But that first season, but the second season took longer because they couldn't get payments to the boxers. So a lot of the boxers were like, well, fuck you. I'm not fighting. Excuse my language. But
I got something else I want to talk about too.
Okay. So that first tournament, up until now, shit, what did it take? I think it was it 2 years or a year and a half? It was a year and a half before the finals happened. It was 2 years. 2 years, yeah, before we got a final. So yeah.
Okay. What were you gonna say, Bob?
Yeah, so one thing I noticed last night when I was watching the fight on the DAZN card, and I just wanted to bring this up, fellas. Floyd Mayweather was in the building at the Anthony Joshua fight. And one thing I do realize about Floyd Mayweather and his ability to connect with black fighters. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm not trying to, you know what I'm saying?
No, I feel you.
Like his connection, like Eddie Hearn need to be careful. with Anthony Joshua and Floyd's relationship. Like, I just wanted to bring that up because I noticed that, and the way AJ and Floyd embrace and their relationship.
It's almost like how
Eddie,
Deion Sanders.
Careful.
It's almost like how Deion Sanders was looked towards young black players.
Floyd
you know what I mean? Yeah. Floyd is the Deion Sanders of boxing.
Yeah, when it comes to black boxers, he got that pull. My bad. Right.
That's a good point though. That's a very good point
because I seen the way AJ came out the ring and they embraced. I was like, Floyd.
Does Floyd have any heavyweights in his camp?
No, he doesn't.
Okay. Okay.
True. What do you think about that? AJ.
What do you think about that, True?
I think
I was
Floyd,
nervous for Eddie.
Wait, real quick before you dabble in that, True, real quick. The same way De La Hoya has a resonance with Mexican fighters. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Is that fair? Okay.
I would say.
True.
Yes and no, because I think honestly, a lot of people gravitate to Mayweather like that just from the star power.
Yeah. True.
No, True is right, because if you think about Ryan Garcia, you think about Teofimo when they was kids. It's just
I think the thing that Floyd did, there's a lot of things Floyd did good for boxing, and one of the things was
boys to get their money.
Is exactly that star power, that flamboyance. Like, as much as I hate it, I'll tell you right now, I do not like that. I like
the Gucci and the diamonds, baby. You know how we do it, True.
Well, but the reason I'm a De La Hoya guy is, and this is the God's honest truth, man. And this is how I am as a coach or anything. Like, yeah, you throw some shots here and there, but all right, I'm gonna show you on the field. I'm gonna show you in the ring. I'm not that. I'm not. And Mayweather showed you that you can make more money by being flat, not just flashy with the money and flamboyant, but by talking shit,
but backing it up
in somebody's head. And I do respect it in terms of getting paid, because there is an entertainment side of it. And I think that's what these guys gravitate to. Like I said, I'm not saying that race don't have nothing to do with it, because you're right.
Yeah, De La Hoya,
absolutely.
But if you have that personality, it works with you to go with Mayweather.
Yeah, I think a lot of guys see what Mayweather, the money side of it, what he did for boxing, that attention, and I think they want that. They want some of that.
That's a very good point. That's a very good point.
I'll send y'all a picture on that.
Well, it's an individual sport at that. So I think Mayweather showed that if you can market yourself, success comes outside of winning also. You know what I mean? So that's a very good point on both sides.
Like golf, bro. You got to promote yourself.
Yeah.
You have to get that sponsorship for yourself. You're not doing it for a whole team.
Right.
I just wanted to bring it as far as
that's good points on both sides.
But there is a racial element to it too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Black man, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, same here.
Floyd. Well, we talked about that a while back. I think I talked to both of you.
Me and True had a good conversation about that.
And there's me, it was funny. I'm gonna take something back that I did tell you, Vaughn, real quick.
You did. Great.
I know we said that. I was like, well, I always look at what's best for boxing. So
you do. True, don't look at the race.
Yeah, he don't. He don't.
If I'm not looking at like who I'd rather win because I have because I like the guy,
race,
I'm looking at who's better for boxing. But I did tell Vaughn, I guess if it was a Mexican guy against somebody from somewhere else, that I would probably lean towards the Mexican guy. But I'm going to take that back, because I'll tell you this: I look at a guy at the end of the day. If I don't have a stake in either guy, I look at it and go, okay, that guy's
going to do for boxing.
Yeah. But I'm like, that guy's from the United States and that guy isn't. I'm going with the dude from the U.S.
That American bias kick in.
But there's a lot of people, my family included. The Cotto and Margarito fight. I went to my cousin's house, bunch of Mexicans, bro, and we're sitting there, and my cousin starts getting on my ass because I'm pulling for Miguel Cotto and not Antonio Margarito because he's from Mexico. And I'm like, I like the fighter. I don't care about the race. Well, but no, I mean, why do you think Canelo Ray? Why do you think he wants to fight on Mexican Independence Day and Cinco de Mayo? Bro?
Oh no, definitely,
exactly. And but also money. Mayweather, even as a black fighter, Mayweather,
because Mexican fans watch boxing.
That was so smart.
And I think that's underrated too. This is very underrated.
I'm gonna be honest. American boxing isn't shit without the Mexican fan base.
Yeah, exactly.
Simple as that.
Exactly.
Like, you want me to be honest? It isn't shit.
Yes.
Mexican Americans and Mexican people make boxing run in America.
Yes, no
because
doubt.
without them, because the thing is about Mexican people is it's like, yeah, they'll root for their kind, but if you raw, no matter what race you are, they're gonna get behind you. Well, I seen it with Triple G.
Well, this is my
Triple
thing.
G showed me the prime example.
Yeah, that's true. Damn. But that's why I say boxing's changed over the years because, and it's a funny story. Even when De La Hoya fought Trinidad, and I remember me and my family, I'm black myself. We were all at the house and we were rooting for Trinidad. And we're like,
because
he's Puerto Rican, but nah, he's black. You know what I mean? It's like we root for Trinidad. That's what boxing used to be. I think boxing now is, and that's why I say boxing's in a better place now because you can, people's fans touch all different races now. You know what I mean? Because back then it felt like you were fighting. They were fighting for all racial. The people. You know, it was very racial. You know what I mean? When Chavez was around, it felt like he was fighting for the whole Mexican country. Canelo still has an essence of that. You know what I mean? But the new fighters, I feel like it's okay. And this is why I respect True, because all the years I've known him, the only stout fan, I mean, I know he likes Canelo and De La Hoya, but De La Hoya he liked, but he bounced around with guys that he thought were good, you know what I mean? And it used to trip me out, like, whoa, what do you mean you're going to, you know what I mean? But that's
what skip over Fathers because we can keep it simple. Anyways, my bad.
Well, I want to make a good point. The three most major pay-per-view stars of the last 15 years since heavyweight stopped being the top dog at
Floyd and Canelo.
Floyd and Manny. Canelo, okay. So Manny. Manny.
That's it.
But Manny's not, because Manny's Filipino. I want to take him out of this for a second, because Manny kind of rose above that no matter where he came from. But those three guys, okay. So one thing I'm going to say about all three of them,
top dogs.
Top dogs. But De La Hoya hated by a lot of his own people.
Yeah, like Canelo.
Canelo hated by a lot of his own people. And Floyd hated by a lot of
other people. Black people love him. We love him. We love him.
Well, the thing is, I'll tell you right now about all three of those guys is, even whether they meant to do it or not, part of their draw was because of how much they were hated.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Oscar,
So
because I remember watching Tito and Oscar, like Tito and Oscar. Why we always reference to that, True? Because Tito and Oscar was such a huge ass fucking fight. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. And it was also Mexico against Puerto Rico. And back then,
that rivalry of Mexican and Puerto Rico, you will never be able to top that. Like that is the highest rivalry in boxing. When you think boxing, Mexico versus Puerto Rico. I go back to Camacho.
Carolina and Duke right there, right?
Yeah. I go back to Hector Camacho and Chavez Sr. You know what I'm saying? And that's just one instance.
Okay. Didn't know that. I didn't know the rivals that thick when it came to Puerto Rico and Mexico.
It's thick. It's thick.
Wow.
They love each other. They'll cuss each other out in the fight, but then afterwards they'll go out and have a drink and party and enjoy each other's culture and love. Yeah, that's Puerto Ricans in Mexico. That fight night, they're gonna cuss each other out. They might swing, but as soon as that fight over, it's mezcal and rum and tequila.
I think you made a good point though, Vaughn. Like I think the Mexican audience is very underrated. How much they help out boxing. Yeah, no doubt.
But one thing I can say is the African American boxing bloodline is coming back to the sport. It took time, but it's coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think they're starting to. Starting to see what boxing that going through the amateur ranks and kind of starting it all over, because it was very big
because of 70s, Mexican people,
70s, 80s, and then we started. Yeah, and then we started going more to where it was worldwide. That you had a lot of good European fighters, guys like Manny Pacquiao coming out of nowhere, fighters like that. But now I agree, you know what it is, and they're starting to dig deep into amateurs again, which is why we're getting the
young bulls
like Colbert and Hitchens that just fought,
Garcia and Valdez and Burchell,
because they're starting to see.
We got a good American branch,
and I think that's why you got to thank guys like Oscar,
thank you, Oscar,
and Floyd. And Canelo, because
I appreciate them young boys.
Yeah, they're bringing it back. So
Okay, all right. So we got a new segment. Any other new news? You hear anything, Vaughn, you want to speak on, or we can move on to the next segment?
Well, anything new is like, anything. Okay, so anything that I hear new about like the division and how boxing is going, nothing is moving yet. I mean, Fury and AJ talked, Fury got on, he talked a little crap. AJ talked about the fight, but I don't know about them because it's like they're both in situations that is like, okay, AJ's probably gonna have to fight Usyk to keep his WBO title to make it an undisputed title, and Fury's gonna have to probably fight Wilder. So it's kind of like, I don't know. We in this position in the heavyweight division. I don't know where we going yet.
Well, it seems like a lot of stuff is kind of not so much set in stone, but there's a roadmap already put out. I think for 2021, early 2022, right?
Yeah, we got kind of a roadmap. Go ahead, True.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a roadmap, but man, with how corrupt everything's been,
boxing is.
Hold on. We're gonna get into that right now. Hold on to that. I got my question for you guys. I got my question. We're going into the next one. I got a question for both of you. I'm glad you said that. I got two questions actually first, okay? But actually a segue into both.
This is a hot spot segment.
This is a hot spot segment. I'm gonna put you guys in the hot seat, okay? Who wants to answer first? Who wants to answer first before we get to it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, fine. And you'll answer the second one, Mike. Okay. The first question is, one's got to go. Okay, and I'm gonna give you two examples. What should not two examples, but two items. One of them's got to go. The corruption of the belts or the corruption of promoting. If you had to choose.
Shit. God damn. Jesus. Like, what is
you go ahead at first, Vaughn, because I don't even know my answer.
No, I don't even. Damn, Ray put us on the spot. Ray said, "I got some."
Because we keep talking about and Mike, you've made it, and I kind of did my homework.
Disgusting.
We can get into it as we talk to, but I kind of did my homework.
I would say.
Well, hold on, Vaughn. Before you even go there, I want to let the people know where we're coming from. I got the WBA belt, the ring belt, WBC, IBF, WO, IBO. Am I missing any belts?
Nope.
Okay, so the WBA and the ring belt came out in 1922. I think I'm right on that. WBC in 1967, IBF in 83, WBO 88, and IBO 88. That's the news. Okay, so go ahead and give me your answer, Vaughn.
I would say, oh my God, it's a mixture of both of them because the promotional companies and the belt organizations, they're in tune with each other. Because if you look at PBC, WBA, IBF, and only WBC, they do business. And the WBA and WBC, they have beef with each other. They've had beef with each other for years. Mm-hmm. So I think it's a mixture of both of them. Both of them are hurting boxing. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well. Oh. Okay, we almost had an injury over here, Ray.
I heard it in the back. I'll call it CPS as we speak, man. Is that what the kids?
I know. He's like, yo,
he threw a shoe, man. Go ahead, I'll listen.
Well, I'm the one getting beat here. Right?
Okay.
Yeah, true. So I got 19-year-old.
They got a hotline for domestic violence. They got a hotline for that too.
True. I see that 19-year-old. I said, true. You got to choke him out, bro. You ain't no more fighting him.
He gonna beat you up. In shape.
I know my nephews is too. I was looking. I was like, nah, I can't beat them up no more. They're gonna beat my ass.
It's that amateur class. It's that amateur class. But go ahead, True.
Yeah, so for me, it's the corruption with the belts. And the reason why is because I think we are seeing the promotions turn a corner because I think they're starting to see the money that there's money to be made no matter where you fight. Mm-hmm. There's going to be a lot of money no matter where you fight. Now, we're not there yet. You still got a long road with the promotions, but with the belts, man, I mean, they make it so watered down. I mean, to where like last week, this is a great question, Ray, because what did we talk about last week? Martin Murray, man, 5 times he fought for world titles, and he never became a world champion. But, and no offense, I know Vaughn's going to not like this comment. No offense to Devin Haney. Hey, I think the guy's going to be good. I do. But he got handed a world title, and it was like, I hate that.
Belt organizations.
And it's almost like I just said a little while ago with the WBC belt being on the line in the Canelo fight. It's like I almost dig the corruption of that because I'm like, okay, at least you're giving it to a great fighter. One of those two guys, whoever wins, they're a great fighter, you know? And I'm like, okay, if you're going to hand it to somebody, at least well, one, you're not handing it to them because they're fighting each other for the belt. That's the big deal. But at least it's two guys that are deserving, you know? And there's so much corruption in terms of getting title shots, and these guys waste their time. I mean, Triple G's wasting his time this Friday.
Yeah, he was.
You know? Yeah,
Oh my God, he is.
you had Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor, the best guy at 140, is wasting his time
last fight
in September, bro. Ray, this guy's
that
the
shit
guy
was trash.
he fought was supposed to be a number one contender, undefeated. He knocked him out with a body punch in the first
shot, and it wasn't even a
you know?
hard
right.
Ray, if you would have seen
what
that body
sucks about
shot,
that is it takes away the undisputed. It takes away the undisputed because if Taylor doesn't fight that guy, he loses that belt, and then you're not having the best fighters fight for all the belts. Like the belts have hurt boxing so goddamn much, man, and it kills me. But at the same time, you know, there's times when a fight you got two guys going at it, going, oh, okay, it is for a world title, so the casual fan will be like, okay, this is for the belt. They don't know the real champion or the real things going on, the corruption.
Me talking crap about Rolly.
Right. Okay, all right. That's good. That's a very good answer. And I wanted to explain. You gave a good explanation on that too, because I was confused. I know it's corruption on both, but my second question, and we'll let True you answer this one first. Between heavyweight and Spence's and welterweight, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So we all, you know, boxing has the top three. The top three what's more anticipated? The top three heavyweight for that the top three heavyweight, which would be Fury, Wilder, Joshua, or the top three of the welterweight, which would be Spence, Crawford, and who's the third? Would it be Pacquiao? Pacquiao. Yeah. What's more anticipated between both of you guys? True, you answer first.
Heavyweights for sure. And the only reason I say that is for sure is because any one of those matchups are major. Welterweight. I mean, Spence and Crawford is maybe the most ideal in terms of pound for pound fight that you want to see, you know? And those guys are both undefeated champions, top level. I mean, that's a purely talented, like, boxing, hardcore boxing fans kind of wet dream fight right there, you know? Like, damn, I mean, who's going to win this battle of just two purely talented fighters who are great? Pacquiao, I don't think even though everybody would be into seeing either one of those guys fight Pacquiao, I don't think it'd be believable that Pacquiao beats either one of those guys.
Right. Okay.
You know, because he's older, he's not the Pacquiao of old. You know, all that kind of stuff. Plus, he's never really been a real welterweight, if we're going to be honest. I mean, he's had a lot of success. He's done very well at welterweight, but that's not his most powerful and best weight class. And he's older. But, man, you got Fury versus Joshua. We've already seen Fury versus Wilder twice, and man, both fights, you know,
were the big boys.
You know, and then you throw Joshua again. I mean, everybody's been wanting to see Joshua and Wilder for a few years now. So it's like, I mean, and heavyweight, bro. The one thing I'll say is the heavyweight division carried boxing all the way through the beginning of the 2000s. And, you know, and then the welterweights took over because they took over because of guys like Pacquiao, Mayweather, De La Hoya. But now the heavyweights are back, you know, and you got some good, talented, big heavyweights,
right.
You know, and I'm sorry, like I said, maybe a little sneak peek into our awards that we're going to start next week. The biggest fight of the year was Wilder Fury.
No doubt. Yeah, no doubt. That's mine. That's mine too. But yeah, okay. What do you think about that, Vaughn? What's higher anticipated? Top three heavyweight or top three welterweight to see it pan out?
That one is a hard. I would say probably Earl and Terrence Crawford.
Out
of any boxing match in the world. Outside of like the heavyweights run the division. Like if it's Fury or AJ or Fury or like a Wilder or AJ, it's gonna blow everything out the water as far as that. But Spence and Crawford, for like True said, for the hardcore boxing fans, Spence and Crawford is just that's salivating.
Right.
You got, but like True said, is the heavyweights, man. If AJ and Fury fight, it's gonna do ridiculous numbers. Of Wilder and AJ fight, or even Fury and Wilder fight, and it's a good fight. It's gonna be ridiculous because the big boys,
Right.
heavyweights do. But I would have to go with Crawford and Spence as being the
Okay.
biggest fight
Okay,
in boxing.
Ray, I totally respect what Vaughn just said, but I'm gonna give. Here's the reason I disagree, and it's not. I'm trying to.
You good,
because
True.
every one of my opinions, I try to all the time bring in what the boxing fan is gonna think. And here's the only reason I disagree with that. Now, in terms of pure matchup, goddamn, I cannot wait to see Spence and Crawford. And maybe even more from a talent level than the big boys. Yeah. But those are two American fighters, and that's going to do well here. Don't get me wrong. That's going to be big here. And don't get me wrong. There's hardcore fans around the world that'll be into that.
It'll do
but
good
how many casual fans around the world are going to be into that fight?
Nah, you're right, True. You're right.
So for me, I mean, look at what Joshua and Andy Ruiz did in their rematch in Saudi Arabia, bro. Those dudes got paid.
Did they?
The big boys.
And everybody was into that worldwide because you know why? Joshua has a huge fan base worldwide. And Andy Ruiz, hey, this fat Mexican guy came out of nowhere and knocked out.
Cano's gonna back him out, him.
Oh yeah,
if he do good, you go to the Mexican
and
fan base.
A good story to everybody, but man, you throw in Tyson Fury's from the United Kingdom. He's flashy, he talks shit, and then you got Wilder, the American that talks shit and has the craziest power of all time. And man, it's such a attractive mixture of things. That's a
heavyweights, big boys.
So that's why I say, man, I love as a hardcore boxing fan, I love Spence and I love Terrence Crawford.
Yeah, but you talking about international, the world, to get the world salivating. Yeah,
and not even just international hardcore fans, but I'm talking about international casual.
Just period.
Fans.
Yeah.
Well, me being a casual fan
in the world.
Let me tell you guys my take on it, and I disagree with Vaughn on the fight, and I disagree with True on the reason of the fight I picked. Okay, so the only reason I don't want to see, I'm not so I don't want to see, but I feel like the heavyweight's more anticipated is because with the welterweight, we're really just looking at two guys. You know what I mean? I can't remember me personally of where three guys, no matter who they fight in that triangle, it's still a big fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it can go either way from either fight. I've never seen that, or I don't remember seeing that in boxing, where it's really just a matchup thing. You know what I mean? Welterweight, as far as heavyweight division, I kind of think we already know the two fighters we want to see in the welterweight. You know what I mean? But like I said,
that's true.
Yeah, but as a casual fan in America, I just want to see these three guys, no matter who they fight, and I want to see the outcome. Yeah, it's not. It's like I don't agree that the casual. Well, I don't know because I don't. Maybe it's weird. It's kind of weird because this is just me living in my bubble. I didn't even fathom a casual fan outside of the United States. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like I feel like America's only casual fan because Joshua's so big in other areas. You know what I mean? But that's just my ignorance to the sport. But like he says, go ahead.
The pool that the United States has, bro, whether boxing is the 10th biggest sport,
the United States always runs it.
Here's the thing:
financial standpoint.
Why did Joshua want to come to New York and fight?
Money, because
money in America, but it's not just money. It's the stature, bro. You want to be popular.
Oh, it's the market, huh? Yeah, he wants that market. Yeah, okay.
As much as
so that's what I'm saying. Like, all these dudes come from all over the world going, I want to fight in America because that's where you're going to really become popular. If you can be popular in America, be popular anywhere.
Did Lennox Lewis achieve that?
No, and I'm a big Lennox Lewis fan. He never achieved the popularity in America or the UK.
Okay, style-wise, Joshua and Lennox very similar, but the thing that separates Joshua in terms of is Joshua does talk a lot more. He's more outgoing. He's more kind of and he does go for the knockout a little more. Like Vaughn said, he's a shark. He smells blood. He's a shark. He goes for it. Yeah,
but no, Lennox. It made Floyd. Go ahead, my bad.
Yeah, but back to the matchup. I totally agree with that because any matchup, even now, bro, we've seen Fury and Wilder twice, right?
Yeah, we got a taste of that already.
Yeah, but the thing is
we'll see it again.
You got Wilder. If Wilder and Fury fight again, I think the same thing could happen. I think Fury could outbox him over 12.
Mm-hmm.
But
if
Wilder's
Wilder
got
catch
so
him,
much power, he could catch him. And then you go Wilder against Joshua. I think Wilder has a better chance of knocking him out. And
Wilder and AJ.
Yeah,
but I think finish your point, Mike. Finish your point. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think if AJ boxes, he could win. And then Fury and Joshua. Okay, the last one. I think Fury could win. I think Joshua could win. The thing is, you just don't know. I mean, those fights are hard to call.
Right.
They really are. And you're right. You only have one of those ones. I know Vaughn thinks Spence beats Crawford. I think Crawford beats Spence. I think that goes back and forth. But again, I think both, even though we'd like to see the fights, I think all of us agree that Pacquiao just not on that level anymore with either one of them.
Right. I just don't True said. I just don't see Manny being able to beat
that's a good topic,
Terrence right now. They're in their 30s, so they're in their physical prime, mentally, spiritually. Like from the way I hear Bud talk and Earl talk and stuff, they too mentally advanced now. You know what I'm saying?
No, but I appreciate y'all input on that. It was good. It was a good, good conversation on that.
And I'm not gonna lie, AJ and Wilder. If AJ was to win, beat Usyk, Wilder beats Fury, that fight is gonna break ridiculous numbers. Like Wilder and AJ is gonna do numbers that you will never see in boxing again.
Right. Wilder is in my opinion. I think Fury is the favorite going into the.
He is. He should be.
But Fury's 2 wins. He's come in as the underdog. His 2 major wins, Klitschko the rematch with Wilder. I think a lot of people, myself included, I know Vaughn picked Wilder in a rematch.
Yeah, I did because I'm a fanboy.
A lot of people after the 2019 that Wilder had, he gained so much confidence.
Yeah, he did.
Since that fight,
that's when we start believing.
I really think he came in as a favorite. So this is going to be the first time that Fury's entering a major fight, Ray,
where he's the big favorite.
Wow.
Big favorite too.
Something to note.
That changes the game a little bit right there, man.
Yeah,
you got a whole different mind frame going in as the favorite, going in as the arrogant, cocky guy that already knows what you can do.
Right.
That changes it. Wilder also, though, never been in that kind of an underdog role.
Never been underdog.
But here's the thing. When you're an underdog and you got power like that, that's a crazy combination right there, man. And anything can happen. So, but Wilder for me, if we're looking at casual fans, what's better for boxing, Wilder and Joshua is better for boxing than Fury versus Wilder or Fury versus Joshua. That's
from a casual standpoint. Okay. And it's what True said is 100% correct. And like True, like I know people like me and True we have our back and forth, but he's right about that. Like from a casual fan standpoint, like AJ and Wilder's more exciting because somebody's going to bed.
Mm-hmm.
Like you know what I'm saying? AJ and Wilder connect. Somebody going about. Somebody getting knocked out. AJ and Wilder ain't going 12 rounds. Like somebody getting put to sleep.
Okay.
But
from a casual standpoint,
mix, you fathom the possibility of a decision.
Yeah, well, Fury fight AJ or Wilder, you like okay, Fury can pull a clear cut decision. He can just outbox them all night and day. But with Wilder and AJ. Somebody going to bed. Somebody
make it an 8-round fight because it's ending before that.
Yeah, 8 rounds. 8 rounds. It's not going past 8 rounds.
Okay, fellas. Okay, we're getting late, man. So sorry about you guys. We got a lot of content. We vibe. You guys see how we're doing this, man. Sometimes we can go a little bit over. So we're gonna skip memory lane. We are gonna jump into what's coming up though. True. Go ahead and start off if you don't mind, man. And what we got coming up.
Well, Vaughn, I think you're taking the Friday fights, right? We
have Friday fights. Card. Oh, okay. I didn't know we had the zone card. Okay,
let me check that zone card. Hold on, let me see.
Well, I can start it off if you want. That's no problem.
Hold on. Let me do that. Hold on, True. Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to. Hold on. Because I forgot about that. Because I know it's on Friday. I didn't know it's
on. Okay.
Yeah, I forgot.
Well, it's a Triple G fighting that night. So, yeah.
Triple G is fighting. Hold on. Let me go to schedule. And all I gotta do is look at the schedule. All right, so on Friday we got hold on. Let's see, 18th. So we got Triple G coming back. He's fighting Camille Samata. Triple G is gonna blow him out the water. It should be over in a couple of rounds. Like that's my best thing for that. And then we got Rashad Mati. He's a high level prospect. You know me, I'm the prospect guy. I love my young bulls. Mm-hmm. So Rashad Rashad Mati, check him out. He's going to be on the first fight in that undercard. So check him out. And then John Ryder returns. He's fighting Michael Guy. I don't know much about Michael Guy. If you know John Ryder gave Callum Smith hell. He kind of gave the blueprint Canelo needs to follow to beat Callum Smith. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
He kind of gave you the blueprint, but decent card. I just think Gennady is going to just beat this guy Camille easily, and yeah, and that's pretty much it. Go ahead, True.
Yeah. No, yeah, just real quick through that. Agreed. There's actually a really good super middleweight fight on the undercard.
Yeah,
Two
Ali.
guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Carlos. Yeah,
that's going to be a pretty good little scrap right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So pay attention to that. I'm drawing a blank on the two guys' names right now, but
Ali Ahmad and Carlos Gunnagra.
Yeah,
I seen Carlos fight. Carlos got some pop.
Yeah.
Carlos can
and
punch.
Yeah, both of them do. Both of them got good pop.
Carlos
so I think that's going to be a really good scrap. John Ryder, this is a tune-up bout. My guy's a nobody. John Ryder is he's trying to go in. I'm sorry, call it like it is, guys. Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, John Ryder's fighting this. He's fighting him as a tune-up to go to fighting for the belt that Canelo's giving up, the secondary belt Canelo's getting up. He's going to fight for that in a few months. Against a former world champion. Ryder, he brings the pain. He likes to fight. He's been in there with Billy Joe Saunders. He's been in there with Callum Smith. I'm not gonna say he beat Callum Smith, but the fight was a lot closer than the scorecards that were read. And Callum Smith had a full plate that night. I think he went in. I think Callum Smith personally took the fight. He was overlooking him. I think that was a big deal. But John Ryder likes to fight. He's a scrapper. So I think he's going to blow away Mike Guy, though, get him out of there. And then Triple G, man. Yeah, I think Triple G has to look good if he wants any kind of a chance of a third fight with Canelo. Because right now, Canelo's not really looking his way. But I will say this. Canelo's not going to make as much money as he would with anybody else as he would with Triple G.
With Triple G.
G's the biggest name.
Yeah, that's the truth.
A third fight with Triple G is going to do more for Canelo than anybody else. So if Triple G wants any chance at that, he needs to win this fight impressively. And because there's not a lot of other options out there for Triple G. So we'll see. But yeah, I like Triple G. I think he's an all-time fighter. I like him a lot. So I'm hoping it's at least we're gonna get a good, impressive knockout on Friday night. So
okay. And what do we got going on Saturday?
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, that Showtime card, man, that thing changed so much. I know. What is it? Yeah. Who's fighting now?
Because I'm going to cover that one. Yeah, it's Emmanuel Rodriguez versus Raymar Gaballo for a WBC interim bantamweight, and then Boots is fighting Chris Van Herden. He fought what's the name years ago? Earl Spence. And then it's Antonio Russell, who I think is really talented. I think Gary Russell brother is really, 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 really talented. He's fighting Carlos Payano. And then Brandon Lee is going to be back. Brandon Lee, young prospect from California. He's going to be back. And then,
that card, I'm disappointed, man. We lost the whole main event.
Yeah, we did.
COVID lost the whole main event, right?
Wait.
Trash.
Wait. Hold on. This is the Canelo one, right?
No.
That's the Showtime card. Yeah.
And this is on.
Going to cover.
Wait. Oh, this is Friday. This is Friday.
Yeah.
Saturday.
Yeah. I'm gonna
so there's a Showtime card going on also during. Wow. Okay.
BBC is trying to pull that viewership from the zone, man.
Okay.
They're not gonna get it though.
They won't. That main event done fluctuated twice now, so they're not going to get it. But Ray, you want to watch a dude that's on the rise and real deal? Deron Ennis. He is the real deal. He's the co-feature. What he is? What is he? 26-0 with 24 knockouts. If I'm right.
Wow.
That dude is a beast.
Wow.
So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's looking.
He's my height fighting at 147.
Division, bro. Welterweight division, baby.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Definitely gonna look out for him.
Yeah, him, Boots, Virgil. Keep your eyes on them young boys.
Okay. For sure.
And then what we got? Just the DAZN card. I think the co-feature got scratched. Julio Cesar Martinez.
Yeah, because it's Rodriguez, TBA, and then it's Diego Pacheco, who's huge.
Yeah.
He's another freak of nature in his weight
Yeah.
class. He's fighting Rodolfo Gomez Jr. But then Frank Sanchez is fighting on the DAZN
Yeah.
card. He was
Yeah.
with
Heavyweight. Yeah.
PPC.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then Austin
Yeah.
Ammo Williams, another talented young prospect, is going to be fighting on there.
Yeah, so a
And
lot of
him
a
and
lot
Eddie
of
Hearn has
fighters
a good
on the rise
relationship.
on the Canelo undercard. They didn't really
Canelo.
get big fights on the undercard, but
Yeah, it just seemed like
just
Canelo's boys is fighting.
yeah. A lot of
Ammo,
Canelo
Frank,
guys.
yeah, Canelo's
Yeah,
peoples.
but I mean, it caps
Diego.
off with a big fight, man. Canelo and Callum Smith is just a really big fight. And it's basically to determine the top dog at 168. As we said, it's going to be two belts on the line, out of the four in that division. So the
Yes, it
winner
is
is
tasty.
by and far going to be the top dog. And
Yeah, unification.
yeah. Callum Smith has a huge opportunity. This is what happens. You get this kind of opportunity. He's 7 inches taller. He's longer.
Mm-hmm.
He has an opportunity to take advantage and knock off the pound for pound king right now. So we're gonna see, man. We're gonna see what happens. But I got Canelo in this one by I'm gonna go with a unanimous decision. I think talent's gonna beat size in this fight, and I got a unanimous decision. But it could be close, but I think Canelo's going to win a comfortable decision, much to what we saw with Danny Jacobs.
Okay.
Somewhat close, but he's going to control the tempo. He's going to win the fight. I do believe a consistent body attack out of Canelo could lead to a late knockout.
Okay.
But we'll see.
Okay.
That's my prediction.
Vaughn, what you got going on with that fight? What's your views on it?
Ooh, that fight is so hard to call. Canelo Alvarez and Calvin Smith is hard to call because it's like my heart is saying Canelo because Canelo can kind of do the same thing that John Ryder did, but better. He can get in the inside. He's got great upper body and head movement, and that can get him in position. But then with Callum Smith, Callum's so good at fighting that outside. He has an excellent left check hook. He has an excellent straight right hand. But I'm like, that fight, fellas, I'm confused on because, like, something tell me, go Canelo. To where Canelo is an excellent fighter, but it's like, don't count out Callum Smith. But I like my heart, but I think I'm gonna go with Canelo. It's just Canelo just know how to win at high levels.
Right.
And I just think he's gonna get himself in the inside, and that's gonna be a problem for Callum Smith when they get in the inside. Because Canelo's so good at he's better than John Ryder was in the inside. But I could be wrong.
So do you have it going to
I'm gonna go Canelo.
You got it going to decision? Okay.
Yeah,
well, I'm gonna go out on a limb.
I'm with you.
I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna say Canelo, and I got him knocking the guy out in the 10th round. Okay, that's what I'm gonna go for. All right.
You might be right, Ray.
Yeah,
Ray, that's a good.
Yeah,
Ray, that's not a crazy pick at all.
Yeah,
that is actually a smart and more even better than me and Truth, because me and Truth think it's gonna go 12 rounds. But you might have us on that.
I'll just go down a limb.
Yeah, real quick on Canelo, man. I mean, what makes him the pound for pound king in my eyes, and why is his resume. Obviously, I mean, the dude has fought some great fighters, but
and here he is fighting another top level opponent.
Yeah,
and
ever since the rematch with Triple G, though, man, the first fight,
himself.
He looked good at moments, but Triple G controlled the tempo. A lot of people argue Triple G.
I think Canelo was a little fearful of the physicality of Goodland.
Yeah, that was his first big fight. But like in terms of like, oh shit, I'm actually in here with a guy who's my size, bigger, and and a really tough fighter. But the rematch, he looked so much more relaxed.
Yeah, no doubt.
Tempo controlled it. Then last year he just stepped up his game to a whole new level. I mean, to beat a guy who's as good a boxer like Danny Jacobs, to control him with the tempo, outbox him, outwork him, and then to go up and knock out Kovalev, who, like I said, a lot of people are going to knock that fight because Kovalev fought on 10 weeks, all that stuff. But you know what, man? I mean, he did not make Kovalev cut weight. He moved up a full 2 weight classes and just looked so composed, like he had fought at 175 his whole career.
Right.
And just laid him out. I mean, it was he just looked so confident in there.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? Right. And like, I know I'm gonna win, and not an overconfidence. It's that straight confidence. I know I'm gonna win. I know what I have to do to win. I know my place in boxing right now and what I need to do for the sport, and that it's on my back, and I take that role. And That's why Canelo right now is just. I mean, I think he's
that's why I
Callum
laugh.
Smith.
Hey,
Yeah, I don't
true.
think
This is
he's
why I
taking
laughed
Callum
at
Smith.
this
Yeah,
dude
I don't
that
think
I
he's taking
follow.
Callum Smith lightly. I don't. I think he's looking at Callum Smith like, hey, you're in my way. I know how good you are, but this is how good I am, and I need to prove myself. Like he still has that hunger to prove himself, Ray.
Right,
I
right,
think
right,
that's what it is. Yeah.
right.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
It's
that's
good.
what
It's a good
makes
one. Good. Yeah,
Canelo.
he's no doubt. He's locked in my eyes. That guy's locked in,
Yeah,
man.
hunger.
So yeah. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Like again, I apologize, but I don't apologize, you guys, with the time we took because I'm telling you,
No, we
these guys,
good.
yeah, these panel members, you guys, especially True and Vaughn, don't count me in. These guys got some knowledge and it helps you learn.
It's been
You know,
rocking.
it's good knowledge too, though. It's gritty knowledge, you know. But I
Yeah, and I've
appreciate.
been getting rave reviews about our
the thing
podcast.
is
Yeah,
one thing I want to comment on is I think the stuff we're covering, yeah, it's taken a while, but that's because we have a lot of fights to talk about that happened over the weekend, and then a
right,
lot of fights coming up, and we're not going to have that all the time. You know what I'm saying?
right,
That's not going to happen. That's one thing, but
Nah,
also,
once COVID is over,
yeah,
yeah, we ain't gonna have this
well,
type
a
of
lot of the
flow.
subjects, a lot of the subjects we're getting into though are things that casual fans talk about and want to talk about. You know what I'm
right.
saying? So there's not a lot of that. I mean, there is a lot of it, but it's kind of woven into the hardcore stuff is kind of woven into what the casual fan is interested in, what we're talking about. So these are good subjects we're talking about, that people
Right.
are interested in.
Good
So,
content too. Like we're not
yeah,
yes
it's
guys over
very good
here. Like I
content.
said, we disagree, we agree. You know, it's just it's good content, man. And like I
I
said,
mean, we might disagree, but it's like isn't we'll disagree on something, but we just don't get into the level of like
Yeah.
visceral that other people
There's a
do
respect
when
there,
they
and
disagree.
that's the way it should be. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And no matter what subject, politically, whatever, there should be a respect there for the
The
other
level,
person
yep,
yeah, no
and
doubt,
their
regardless
no
of
doubt.
your beliefs
opinion.
and stuff.
And
Yeah,
stuff. Well, and especially like right now, it's not like even you, Ray. You do your homework. You brought up great questions in the show, and it's like okay. Like me and Vaughn have to respect that. You might not know as much as we do in terms of the hardcore knowledge, but you know enough to bring up some great questions. And
yeah, you got some good
Me
ones.
and Vaughn have to respect each other because we both know what we're talking about. I mean,
Right.
so we both have a solid opinion that is based on a lot of knowledge. And so, that's what I'm saying. People should be interested because of
Yeah,
that.
no
Yeah.
doubt, no doubt.
Yep.
So it's a good
Yeah.
show,
Yes,
guys.
sir.
Appreciate it. True, go ahead and plug your YouTube on your way out on your outro.
Yeah. True Boxing, TRU Boxing, and True Boxing or True_Boxing on Instagram. So,
All right, Vaughn.
Yes, Von Blues Boxing on YouTube. So it's VONBLEU Boxing. Yeah. So yeah, that's it, man.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I will get my YouTube channel up, you guys, for this whole podcast. But these knowledgeable fellas, they both have it on there. So go to their pages, check out their thing. They got other content going on. It's got a good thing going, you guys. And these guys are gonna be big soon. I tell you, man. I'm saying that just like I said the Canelo fight, man. But I appreciate y'all in there, man. Hey, y'all take care.
All
all
right.
right,
Have
man.
a good night, fellas.
Guys.